Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team pick.
Form, they're back in TI form. They did actually say that for these qualifiers they got me a Stolberg, also helping them out with their mind games, with their mental health mindsets, as we are in the draft, and we do Milan. Congratulations. Io and Luna actually removed by OG. And the Pango and Axe removed on the side of Team Nigma. Now that those are out, still the usual suspects in Alina, of course, comes to mind. Any more heroes that you expect to see in these first couple of picks?
Oh, Nigma goes with the first pick.
Just straight up Invoker.
This is amazing. I mean, the Hellbear Smashers, the Robson team, they showed that they discovered this first pick Invoker. I mean, Stormer might be the best Invoker in the world. All respect to Miracle and others, but Stormstorm is just another level. And he showed that hero's that strong that he doesn't get counters. And then Miracle is not far behind. He's like almost same level. And he's like, I can do it too.
Just do it.
And like picking a hero first against Thompson, I think it's good, because it's like Thompson, he doesn't play TA, and like I don't think there's many heroes Thompson plays the counter Invoker actually. Like, Invoker's gonna have a good matchup no matter what, it seems.
5 seconds remaining.
The main thing is it like lays down the foundation of your draft. It's like when you pick this hero with confidence, like it's so much better to have a good side lane matchup nowadays. Like picking this mid early, it's like it doesn't feel good leaving your mid to like a later pick unless there's a player that needs it. Like it's very good picking up early. And like you mentioned, like heroes that maybe beat the Invoker. I think the idea of Invoker, if you first pick it, the biggest weakness is people that collapse on your tower and try and take away your tower early on and like remove your ability to just passively farm up like the Midas +1 or a Vessel, like depending on what style you want. So maybe OG will look towards just running at mid lane a bit. Maybe we get to see a rare Pugna pick.
Right, yeah, but the OG goes to their bread and butter, you know. It's the Magnus, and now the Team Nigma responds with the TB. Yeah, I mean, this is what you're gonna see today in this series and the other series. People are gonna pick the quote unquote super strong heroes, you know.
Yes.
The TB and Invoker. You look at these like as the S tier heroes in Dota, no matter what, like their spells, the Cataclysm, the Metamorphosis. Same with Magnus, you know, the RP and power. This is what, you know, it goes through BKB. They're gonna pick really strong heroes. They're not gonna mess around. And Seb might be the best Magnus in the world, you know, but it can be flexed. Not to Thompson, but I've seen Sumail play a lot of Magnus lately, so he might pick it up.
Yeah, we've seen Sumail play a Magnus game, Seb as well. I do want to remind people as well that the series that Team Nigma and OG played 2 days ago was the series and the only series that we've seen Chen in action. Two games, 2 wins. One of them was with a Magnus where Chen was stacking all the camps for Sumail's Magnus to farm them. Is that something, T, that you want to see banned out at this point? Because it's such a niche hero, right? How do you deal with it?
I think, yeah, the main thing there is it's a hero that utilized the jungle really well and had this additional healing. And I think Terrorblade as a hero, even Invoker, like they're going to be fine playing into this Chen style because they're just going to be farming up their inside of the map, and maybe they can just take that one big fight to deal with him. But it really depends on like how you want to deal with it. Like it's a new hero, right? Like if you think about Chen in the TI qualifiers, it's had 2 games played out of all the regions, I believe. Only on OG, 100% win rate. Like, it's not a hero
Only
that
against Nigma as well.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not a hero that every team's been like thinking about. So I think if Nigma's done like the homework, then I don't think you have to ban it because it's like it's a great hero, but it's not like independently winning the game. It's like it's just doing the fundamentals of Dota just really well.
I want to mention the Tide. I wanted to mention Winter and Phoenix. I just think these two heroes are like gonna come in hot in the second phase. They're both the Winter for Nigma. We saw what it can do as a core. I mean, they already have their mid laner, but it's just one of the best heroes against Magnus. And the one hero we all forgot about, it's the Rubik, and it's a GH Rubik. It's hell of a Rubik, and against Magnus and Hoodwink, it can be really amazing.
And this is like the benefit, right? Like, how often do you see like just mid carry as your opening, right? And it opens up for like mind control to have a better game. Like we mentioned so many times with Nigma, like they pop off when MC's like kind of leading the charge a lot. And yeah, I honestly like the idea of like some late pick MC hero, casual Rubik in the second. Yeah, it's actually sounds pretty good.
I mean, the first two carry mid opens really for the juicy support. Like it opens up for the really good Rubik game, opens up for the really good Enigma game. Such like there are supports that quote unquote carry the games. Rubik is one of them. Phoenix is one of them. Enigma is one of them. Winter is one of them. Like if they get their spells off, it's just gonna win you a team fight. It's gonna win you a game. I mean, the bans they do, the Faceless Void and Draw Ranger, they're bread and butter OG. The Thompson Draw, the Faceless Void with Magnus is probably the scariest combination. And the Tide Hunter and the Timber are kind of just, I think, Magnus bans. I think this might show the Magnus is a carry.
Yeah, and also heroes that you don't want to see mind control. And when you're saying like you want to set up mind control for success, those are the heroes that he can take the game over with. And one of the supports that they don't want to see GH on is the Nyx Assassin, another hero that we see can take over the game. So it's up to OG to go for their pick now. I think they want to probably hold off a little bit on their cores to make sure that they don't reveal yet who is playing that Magnus. So they pick up the Willow, and that will be the Saxa Willow. And the previous time they played it, they did play it with the Chen, and I do think we have our support duo, but I want to point out that we know that Thompson does play Hoodwink.
There we go,
and it's something you gotta have in the back of your mind. I know that Team Nigma has that in the back of their minds as well. We've not seen it in this qualifier yet, but it's out there.
I honestly think that when they pick Willow, I was like, is Nota really going to play the 5 Hoodwink? Or is this just going to be Thompson playing it mid? I just instantly kind of gravitated towards that option.
It depends on the next pick. The Team Nigma might pick up the 4, and then Notail would evaluate what if Hoodwink's good matchup, or maybe they already know. I don't know. It's hard. I have no idea what Hoodwink mid does. How is the matchup?
And there's the Phoenix.
And there's the Phoenix. Phoenix has really good matchup on all 3 of these heroes. You know, especially on the Dark Willow. All his spells are like, so say, ground damage. You know. So the Shadow Realm is not going to protect you from laser, and it's really good. They're stacking up on teamfight. To beat the Magnus Willow, you need to stack up on teamfight.
That's the main thing, right? Like Nigma's looking at OG's playstyle, and it's like you can run at us, and we might die a couple times, but when we take like that game-winning fight, we'll just be able to hold hands in one area, and like you can't beat us if we throw down the egg. If Invoker's covering the TB with his met, like. Yeah, Nigma's really going to be playing kind of on the back foot for a little bit in this type of game. So don't be surprised if OG are, looking good for the first 15 or 20.
Actually, one hero the OG might pick up is the Darkseer. I always thought of Darkseer as like a really good response to TB. But it's a bit scary with Nigma being still able to pick up like the Ange or the Oracle. Like the Oracle would be really punishing.
This is why the double core opening is so scary, right? Like because Nigma gets to respond twice in second phase, they've just kind of thrown down their cores. Like how rarely do we get to talk about like 2 supports being like the game, like the opening, right? Like
there goes the Chen.
There it is.
And there's a Chen. Yeah. Here it is.
It's. I think the Chen says Magnus is a carry.
Yeah.
So it's Hoodwink mid, and then obviously Willow 4, keeping Seb's pick for last and mind control right now.
10 seconds.
No, actually, I take that one back. It's like
open?
They need a like Empower hero, so they cannot pick really offlane Empower hero. They'll just and they cannot pick a Void Spirit. Yeah, they cannot pick a Void Spirit or Pangolier. So it could probably be like a last pick carry when they see the mind control hero. Like they pick up good matchup because Chen is already a kind of strong laner. and like they pick up the good matchup to outcarry the TB and to abuse the Empower and have a good lane, like because they'll see their matchup. And what does Nigma go here? They need they know now.
I want them to be able to
Full
steal
support.
away the jungle. You know, like we saw how efficient Notel was at making stacks. I think right now when you have Phoenix, Invoker, TB, like you're not going to be running into your enemy jungle and like taking away this big resource that OG will inevitably make. So maybe mind control. Gone.
They can maybe go for a Elder Titan. I think that's a good matchup on Chen, and he really likes it on GH. And it could be flexed to the offlane if they pick agility carry with the Magnus.
They just go
they do Mars.
straight Mars. They're fully going to the idea of like let OG run at us and then we'll throw down our arena, our egg, we'll control with Invoker. Like they want OG to run at them. They're kind of offering up OG to play their own game right now. But that's a scary kind of defensive lineup they have.
Yep,
What can you
seems like,
counter pick Mars with? Sorry, sure.
No, they are agreeing with you, Milan, in that they're banning out the Juggernaut. So they are banning out a hero that would be empowered still. But
What is the good matchup on TB? I think maybe Monkey King. I think Crystal would ask for Monkey King. As a rank 1 Monkey King player, he would say, give me Monkey King with Empower, I'm gonna ruin them. But the Phoenix is good against Monkey King. Mars is like
how about
decent. That goes both ways.
Like an Ember, you know, just go straight up in their face. But it's probably really bad against the egg late game. But like it gives you that earlier in your face timing that OG normally likes to play into.
Ember is pretty soft.
You want to be harder.
I want a melee hero that can maybe buy a BKB and hit the egg. Because like if they like the lash ban, okay, there's this other route. I mean, they did this before, so they ban it. Like I need to check.
Load up the hero list. Yeah, you always have to have a hero list. Oh, very helpful in these moments.
10 seconds remaining.
Dora says PL. I mean,
5 seconds.
Yeah.
not sure PL against the Invoker Phoenix.
an OG hero.
Definitely an OG hero.
I don't know how much Sumail plays it though. Vengeful Spirit coming out for Team Nigma.
Sure.
So they're gonna. I mean, GH plays Venge too, so it's like we're gonna see what they do. But I would say Monkey King for the OG.
The Crystallis effect.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many heroes banned.
But even we mentioned PL, they just go
Morphlin.
So it's gonna be. Thompson would play this. Suma's playing it. Sure. Okay. Offlane.
Yeah.
All right.
And the Thompson Hoodwink, we're gonna get it. So happy to see that because I know it's been brought up so many times on panels during drafts before because we know he plays it, but finally getting to see it in action here against Miracle Invoker. I'm gonna ask the simple question: who's gonna take game 1? Milan, you want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. I think I got Nigma's here. Nigma is like really got the strong heroes, and I think the OG didn't respond very well. Like they got their own heroes, regardless of what Nigma has been picking, and the TB is very strong. I think TB got this.
Yeah, I'll go Nigma basically allowed OG to play their own game in the draft, and they basically picked all heroes that deal defensively with the playstyle of OG. Like let them run at you, have an egg, have an arena, have a swap. So I prefer what Nigma has for the big picture of the game, but I think that if you give OG every element of their start, they're going to be dominant. So I'll go with the OG so that we have the 1-for-1 split. We got a bit more, animacy on the next panel where we're like, OG won or something, Yeah, I like the Chen. I think it's going to maybe stay undefeated, and I'll go with OG.
Yeah, I mean, stats don't lie. 100% win rate on Chen so far. So let's find out if OG can do it again, or maybe Team Nigma will take this first game of the best of 3. We're finding out together with our commentary duo of Suns fan and Sinner.
Prepare for battle.
Hello, everybody. Suns fan and Cinderin here. You look beautiful tonight, today, wherever the hell you are, Cinderin. This is quite the matchup. My good lower bracket. Did not think we'd see these two teams facing off so early. OG versus Team Nigma. We have a Chen. We have so much to talk about. I never thought I'd be excited to say there's a Chen in the game, but alas, this is 2021. He hasn't been seen. Well, we saw him one game earlier this tournament, but aside from that, basically a dead hero for all intents and purposes. Synderin,
I feel like it's kind of a mental pick almost, right? Like OG picked it twice in the last best of 3 against Nigma, and those were the 2 games they won. Correct me if I'm wrong. In this tournament, so they're kind of just rolling it again, and you would hope Nigma, for their sake, are better prepared this time. All right, so Mail here, good stun.
Magic missile into the spear. This will be first blood for Kuroki on Team Nigma's side. That's another hero we have yet to talk about, is freaking Vengeful Spear. I thought this guy was dead too. Where are they finding these heroes from, Sin? I didn't know there's this many heroes in Dota.
Nigma played this hero together with Terrorblade exclusively, it seems like, and it's because of Vengeance Aura being so strong with Metamorphosis. When you turn into Metamorphosis with Terrorblade, I think he should be fine here, yeah. The damage bonus that you gain from meta is base damage, and that means that the Vengeance Aura gives you so much more extra, just oomph in the fights. I don't really think Kuro will pick it without that hero, but yeah, I'm looking over these strategies. I feel like there's so many times I see OG's drafts and I'm like, I wonder how this is gonna work, and then it makes sense in the end. If I were to you just blurred out the 2 team names and you told me which draft you like more, it's the Dire. I think it's easier to execute. I think it's more clear cut what you're trying to do. But seeing that OG have won 2 Chen games already against Nigma, let's see if No-Tail can do it again here. Good pressure top on both teams, really. LTW.
Yeah, in other words, you absolutely hate Hoodwink as a hero, and even more so as a core.
No,
we've established this time and time again, Synderin. Isn't that correct, Synderin?
It has grown on me for Pro Dota,
Good.
and I'm really curious to see it on tops on this game, actually. I wonder how this lane matchup goes. Invoker plus Wex, notoriously not very strong in lane in the first few levels against a lot of ranged heroes, but I think against Hoodwink, he might be able to break even, which would be a great start here for Miracle. And it does look like that's kind of what's happening.
LTW had to pop his Fairy Fire to keep himself safe. Okay, we've talked about Vengeful. Okay, we have so much to talk about, so I can't even get a hold of this game anymore. But do you even know what you build on? It's been a while since I've seen Topson play the Hoodwink mid. He was known for it for a bit, and a lot of people thought it was kind of a meme, but I mean, he's picking it in a TI qualifier. Remember, this is lower bracket. Loser will be out. Winner goes to grand finals to fight Tundra. They're still not guaranteed to go to TI. This is a TI 9. There's too many stories, Synderin.
He's buying E-Blade. He's buying E-Blade. Come on now. It's
all right. Thank God. I was worried there for a moment.
I think in this game, when you're against Terrorblade, I actually think you want to go Maelstrom together with your Acorn shot. It's really a nice synergy these abilities have, because the internal cooldown on Maelstrom, I think it's 0.2 seconds. It's ready every time the Acorn shot bounces. It doesn't bounce fast enough that you don't get the full proc chance, and it's a really good way of cleaning out Terrorblade illusions and dealing good damage. So yeah, something like Maelstrom I would like to see, and then he could go either for the Aghanim's for the Boomerang, or he could go the E-Blade if he thinks that's cool here in terms of his build, setting it up maybe for the Morphling. So Mel doesn't have to buy it then necessarily. It's a little bit cute, I think, but...
Sure, very cute. Everybody likes cute Dota. That's the reason you pick these heroes for sure.
Yes, very cute.
A lot of action top, but still no kills in this specific lane, other than that first kill that we saw earlier. Okay, before we get on to the actual game itself, talk to me about Chen as a hero now as well, because No-Tail famously played it in the previous series in this tournament, and they owned. Why is this hero completely forgotten, and is it actually good? Or is it just like this specific thing that they're able to accomplish with it?
I feel like Chen to me is a very situational hero. It used to be in a position where you could just like first pick it a lot, but the biggest mind control almost getting some nail there. The biggest change I think is his inability to take a lot of the creeps early on. There's other nerfs that he got, as Topson's actually going to solo Miracle.
Wow.
All right. Was not expecting to see that play, but that's a great start for him.
That was actually the last lane I was expecting to kill.
Me too. Like, this feels almost impossible to find a kill in that lane for either of them, really, but nicely done. Maybe surprising him a little bit with the 2-2-0 build. It is quite a bit of damage if you've harassed at first. But yeah, about Chen. You're slower, simply put. You can't take the stronger creeps as early as you used to, so you hit your mech timing later, you hit your hand of god timing later. You're less powerful in lane in general, but what you still offer is that
lane. You're gonna have to hold your horses, Synderen, because Kuroki has just died. Go ahead.
Guess what? Miracle just killed Thompson mid.
Oh my god.
They're actually just taking turns apparently. Getting the first kill in the mid lane usually makes you snowball, but Miracle gets it right back. A very interesting turn of events here. But yeah, they do find the kill on Kuro
wants
top.
to make sure things are even. You know, it's a handicap type of thing. We want this to be as hype as possible, so we do appreciate it from a viewer perspective.
Something we didn't really cover is the Dark Willow Magnus lane. I think in one of the previous games, I had a cast yesterday with Venge Terrorblade as well out of Nigma, and we were talking about how that lane isn't very strong, especially when meta is down. You have like nothing basically. Seb and Sox have done a good job at getting ahead on CS in this lane, not by a lot, but by a bit, and finding that kill. It's gonna get harder when Kuro gets more levels, so Seb's gonna have to skewer here.
He is perfectly fine though, as that is. I find that to be one of the more annoying voice lines in the game. The fact that ILTW is spamming it makes it even better though, against OG.
Oh, Seb, he will get stunned here.
He has skewered already, so 3 seconds on that cooldown. Gets the shockwave up with Saksa in the area. Seb is actually getting to get the skewer off close to the tier 1 tower. Pops the fairy fire in turn, and will live as a result. As Chen dies, Mr. No Tail
Okay, seriously though, what is it with these unexpected kills? Like, how is Phoenix just soloing Chen in the jungle? What is going on?
I don't know what to tell you, but Thompson did lose all his mana.
Has a ghost creep and a Satyr Mindstealer. And he gets soloed. Like, what the hell? This is... I think I've seen like 1 or 2 kills in this game out of 6, because I'm looking at all the wrong lanes.
Same.
Intuitively. Like, I'm trying to make a point about something, not looking at the health bars in the top, and they're just finding these seemingly... That's crazy. It's good stuff. I think these kills are good. We're gonna assume they're good. Oh, top
great
lane.
analysis as always. Yeah, meta is popped. Kuroki's in the area with the magic missile, gets it off with a bramble. Great zoning capability here from Saksa, very easy to use, and that'll save Seb yet again. So the one lane that we've been talking about so much that barely had any actual action turn into a kill is Thompson getting chased in the mid lane. GH with a couple fire spirits. Thompson doesn't have a level of scurry yet, so can't really go through those trees. Actually uses the sharpshooter, but GH will be able to sidestep it. And Thompson's going to be able to get this bounty now, and back to mid you go. So between the two mid laners, basically a wash in terms of net worth. A little bit in favor of Miracle because he got the second kill, but overall pretty even in that lane.
Yeah, the question for me is who has the bigger impact in 5 minutes, right? Like, is it the Invoker that shows up with a vessel, or is it Hoodwink that shows up with whatever Thompson is planning? Currently power treads, actually. Interesting to see. Miracle's really laying into him here. There's no mana on the Hoodwink after that EMP. Definitely pressuring him quite a lot here.
Yeah, and they're really even on levels as well. As top lane Shadow Realm is popped from Saksa. He's going to get gone on by Kuroki though. Wanda will keep Saksa alive. Seb gets set up very nicely by that Cursed Crown into the skewer. Bramble to follow, but Kuroki, he knows his way around the maze, Cinderman, and will live as a result of this. It feels like every player in this lane is perpetually at low HP, but no kills really.
They're definitely
Let's just stop casting that lane.
They're playing a lot on pressure, which is really good to see, right? Like, you have this Venge Terrorblade lane, but you're not just sitting back and trying to farm and being like, okay, well, our lane has nothing. You're playing strong when you are strong, and then they're kind of just weathering the storm outside of that. I think this top lane's been very well played by Nigma in particular, actually. Terrorblade is 700 net worth behind the Morph though, which is concerning, but given the circumstances, Sumail's lane is just easier. Like, playing Morph against Mars, if you have a head start from Chen, it's just so easy. Mars can never really burst you if you're on your toes, you have more damage, you range.
No kill getting caught out. Tornado EMP surrounded by GH and Miracle. Miracle takes credit for that one. Something we've failed to mention so far because we've had so much to talk about, Cinderin. From Sumail's perspective, I'm assuming this is an Ags game, right? You just turn it to the Dark Willow and go ham. Is that kind of the idea behind it?
Yeah, I think so. He might stop for something else on the way though. I wonder, like, he's currently hovering a Void Stone. Usually when Morphs buy this, they build it into Lincolns. I don't think is there anything else interesting he would buy with a Void Stone? Not really. So we'll see if he changes his mind. But if he does go for that, it kind of indicates Lincoln's, which I don't know if it's good here. Oh, Miracle again.
Oh, wow.
Combining with IL2W though for this
Sunstrike.
one, and they did combine beforehand for the kill mid as well with GH. So good movements coming out, and you love to see this from Invoker, right? You get those 2 earn charges from the first kill, and you immediately hungry also on the map, because it just makes your hero so much stronger. Cold Snap earn, go on anyone you want, and just keep this ball rolling for Miracle. Obviously, worth keeping in mind, this is a hero that's basically been respect banned against Nigma every game this qualifier, and OG choosing to give it to Miracle here is, it's definitely a sign of confidence and trying to, like, just beat them at their best, kind of.
Yeah, we have Ghost Walk on Miracle top lane. He spots out a bunch of heroes. If they can get top lane again, that would be pretty crippling for him. But wraps back around, and it looks like he's not going to go for anything yet.
He's waiting here for set. If Kuro connects with a swap, this can be a kill. You can swap mid-skewer to interrupt the movement. They're going to go for it, I think.
Yeah, Cold Snap, Magic Missile, EMP. Oh, the swap into the EMP, like you said, and that'll be it. So nice, easy kill. That's going to give another earn charge for Mr. Miracle, who is pretty close to finishing off the Spirit Vessel. I assume this is going to be the same build we've been seeing throughout the Major and whatnot, into Midas, so you can get the Cataclysm combo and all that good stuff.
They're looking for Soxa. He can't TP out. He's Cold Snap earned.
Yeah,
So he's stuck here. He's dead.
It's done, bro.
Miracle's getting so much work done this game. He's going to almost have the Vessel now. 10 minutes in. 42 CS is not bad on Quaswex Invoker. Minute 10.
Yeah, sure.
A lot of mid heroes will be really dissatisfied with this, like say TA or Shadow Fiend or, you know, these farming mids, but on Invoker it's completely fine when you're making these moves on the map. He's top net worth in his team by far. Just getting 4 of the 6 kills he's been involved in. Once this Vessel comes out, you open some new doors. Like maybe you can kill the Morphling, you can easily stay on the targets you've been killing so far, even though Hand of God becomes available. You largely negate the Chen mech for a long time. So, why is Sumail buying Lincoln?
That is strange. I mean, is swap something he's super worried about? It is an instant cast, so we're going to see that use
swap.
top lane. Yeah. The skewer comes off though. Mind control gets off his arena. This looks to be yet another easy kill for Team Nigma. Although, Hand of God keeping him safe for now, but another match missile. He actually uses RP to try to get away, but it ends up failing in the end. Now Soxa has come, has the terrorize. Doesn't want to pop it yet though. Gets the Bedlam, but the spear against the wall, and they could potentially turn this around as Sumail on the backside available here. They're gonna lose another hero though for Team Nigma. In terms of their advantage, just 10-2 right now, looking really good.
That was such a big outplay from Kuro and Mind Control there. Just beautiful stuff, really. They use the arena, they don't spear, and they end up killing Mag without using it. And then when Soxa connects and starts going on Kuro, Mind Control finds the spear right before he gets stunned by Cursed Crown. So just outplaying every single move OG were making there, and in the game in general. And it looks like they might be looking for more here. Miracle is hovering around. No Vessel yet, 50 gold to go. So probably not going to pick Morphling as the target, but
yeah, great
target here would be the Willow.
He is doing.
Soxa is basically already dead here. It's a matter of how much can get done.
Egg is popped. Sumail. Oh, the deafening blast with the spear is going to keep the egg alive and will pop as a result. But Sumail already gets his attribute shift off. Actually gets poked back into the arms of Sumail. Gets a nice adaptive strike off as well as GH with the heal from the sideline. Nigma are extremely low right now. They're going to lose Miracle to start things out. Looks like Kuroki is next. So a nice turnaround from OG. If they get 3, this is going to be close to a wipe as ILTW is nowhere to be seen, Cinderella. Control onto the high ground. A couple more right clicks from Sumail. Adaptive strike. Shockwave. Oh, the arena is placed, but not in time. 4 dead with 0 trade. Right from the tier 1 bottom of the ILTW scale.
Soxa started that fight using Shadow Realm, and I think he got Cold Snap earned, but somehow Nigma's hero just couldn't get to connect on him, just got zoned off. Maybe it was a good bushwhack. I didn't really see. It was kind of weird, but obviously it's easy for us to say with the full vision that we have of the two teams. I guess from Nigma's perspective with the vision they had, that just wasn't clear cut at all what they could have done there. Oh, we're not done yet. We're going to go immediately onto No Tail. He's gonna live, I think.
Let's disconnect. Tornado. Gonna connect on the creep. That'll be very disheartening for No Tail, but the Sunstrike being dodged. Very nicely done.
Did I hear a squeak?
He's gonna live as a result again. Gets out the tip as well. So we did see ILTW solo that bot lane. I mean, is that a fight where I mean, again, you talked about hindsight and us having vision and whatnot. Is that a fight that you would expect a Terrorblade to show up to?
Not really, no. I think, given how that started, they don't get this perfect control on Miracle really fast. I do think that could have been very clean for Nigma. I think that Shadow Realm used early means if you get caught by any spear or anything when you come out of it as well, you're just instantly dead. But Soxa managed to weave through the tree line really nicely to set something up. Yeah, Terrorblade doesn't need to join that.
So talk to me about Magnus as an offlaner. Obviously, we've seen it. I mean, it's a flex here between mid and offlane a lot of the time. I mean, we've seen it some support as well, but not having a true empower here. You get the bonus damage, obviously, on Morphling, but don't really get cleave. Is that actually an issue at all? Because typically we see if you want an empower partner, it's something that help amplify the farm early on, like a PA or whatever heroes that need items to farm.
Empower is pretty good on Morphling because he has insane base damage, right? Oh, Seb's dead. And this time I'm confident.
EMP, are you confident? He makes it to the high ground and then dies. His dead corpse is there with Synderen's name on it. The egg was popped.
Did not get mech off. That might have actually saved him. They also find tops and bottom with mind control and ILTW. Love this from ILTW. Instant TP mid. Like 2 dead heroes, I'm gonna push this down. Click on that.
He's going to play a lot of pressure to tier 1 tower, and there's the Tornado with the Meteor coming down onto Noto. He's going to live, though, with the help of Sumail. Terrorizes there onto Miracle. He's going to get bursted down like none other. So it ends up being a 2-for-1 across the map here. I was going to say, I've seen 1 Thompson death, and how many deaths does he have right now? He has 3. So, he's kind of all over the place.
Bit too overzealous from Miracle there. I think if he doesn't try to dive, they actually just get the tower. But trying to dive that Chen got him really out of position, and Soxa with a very quick punish. And not only that, but this is even a siege creep wave. This is like perfectly aligned for OG to push their own.
Oh, magic missile. Thompson looks to potentially be dead again, but the nice mech coming out, keeping him alive, and now Kurogi might be the sacrifice. There's an RP. It's only onto ILTW, but this would be an enormous kill if they're able to get him. Oh, sorry, that was Minecraft. They look very similar. Very similar indeed.
They both have teeth.
Huge bodies, totally different colors, very easy to mistake.
Yeah, they're both heroes.
GH in the meantime gets blown up as well, and somehow OG has just turned this around. It feels like when they're behind, they play better. I don't know if that's just me. It really feels like something that's deep inside them.
The thing that's so beautiful about this is how fast everything happened, right? So Nigma find 2 good kills, they go push mid, 1 overextension from Miracle, and OG was that 3 kills, a tower, and straight into Roche. Like, all of this happened within 1 minute. It's so quick and so punching. Nigma know this is happening though, so they're gonna try to go and connect. And this, honestly, this could get scary for OG. They don't have RP, and Nigma have everything except no, they even have Supernova. Oh my god.
Oh, comes down onto 4. Nobody's even in the pit right now. Here comes the Meteor to follow. Thompson dies right in the beginning of this fight. Definitely Glass not really going to connect anything. With the egg also not going to connect. But there's a huge terrorize on basically everybody from Team Nigma. Can they follow up with anything? Is the question. Doesn't look like it for now. It's Sumail. Waveform through. They've lost 2 so far. The buyback now onto Soxa, but they're going to lose Seb as well. Buys back in the game as well. This Roche is extremely important for them based on the buybacks, if nothing else. That Nigma will back up. This was without Metamorphosis, by the way, which is up in 7 seconds.
Yeah. The Supernova and Arena have been used now, though, so OG might feel confident that they can eventually just slowly wither down and claim this Roche like this. Go for one of the best heroes at stalling. Meta is up.
Eye control jumps in. The spear will completely whiff. He's going to get decimated. But Seth, this might be a dive. If he skewers on the other side, there'll be a trade in the end, though. From Nigma now on the run. Kurogi trying to make his way to safety. Doesn't look like it's going to happen, but okay, the Sharpshooter actually connects on Miracle, but either way, Kurogi finds the way to the grave. And the Roshan is still not dead yet, Cinderman. ILTW has the meta up and running. That's the buyback now from Kuro. We get this. Bushwhack not going to connect, but the delay is there. The Bramble extremely annoying. Tornadoes seemingly have 0 cooldown in this game. As Sumail trying to solo this Rook Push, it is taking so freaking long to get it, and he gets it in the end. Jesus, Gaben. Finally, this Roche fight has ended as Nigma, well, I was going to say they're on the run, but maybe not. Egg is on cooldown for 26 seconds. All right, we can take a little bit of breather as Soxa dies. Read it in for Soxa, give him the old F. As Kuro gets off the magic missile, getting healed. Sharpshooter.
Nice
Wiz is right by him. This is one action-packed game.
Yeah, I love when the team won on that move.
Thank you so much. You're the best co-casters
Honestly,
anybody
like,
could ever ask for.
The thing that's so cool about this is that I don't, you know, like OG coming out with the Aegis is the only reason we can declare a winner there. Like outside of that, it was trade-off for buybacks. It was good cooldown usage. They're really playing on the limit of what they feel like they can pull off, right? OG going for that Roche after the mid tower might seem really greedy because they don't have RP, but they're doing it knowing that there's no meta on the other side. Okay, this is a mega death set, by the way. Sunstrike. So they're kind of playing it on the limit, right? And then Nigma feel like they can contest because they have exactly the tools that they do. They just get Supernova in time, they go and contest. Then with the buybacks OG come back with, they have numbers, and now the big cooldowns, they think that slowly but slowly they can get it. It's honestly just really good play overall in decision making to pull this off, really, from both teams. OG do eventually get the Roche, but if Nigma don't go and contest there, OG get it for free. At least this way they had to pay for it quite a lot.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I mean, how important for this game is the Roche? I know that sounds like a stupid question, but a lot of times when you take the Roche, you don't really do anything with it. Is this a lineup that OG can, if they can take advantage of in terms of getting more map control or potentially trying to go past the tier 2 towers?
I don't think you get past tier 2s yet. I just don't think you're strong enough to just bulldoze down the lane. Nigma have insane team fight between Invoker, Mars, and Phoenix. You're always at risk of getting swapped. Of course, you have the Lincolns, like we talked about, so that can help a little bit, but there's ways of breaking it, right? Just a quick cold snap can break it. Honestly, that's kind of the only thing, though, so that's kind of cool, I guess. But yeah, I still wouldn't advise OG to just bulldoze a lane. You use this Aegis to try to pressure, maybe you find a tier 1 tower bot or maybe a tier 2 tower top, but you probably don't look at high ground. And more than likely the move you make should be included in the smoke, where you smoke Mag and Morph together and find a skewer kill. With the E-Blade is probably the timing here, one pick all the way for Sumail. It's a very big power spike for their lineup to get this E-Blade.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, I think that's what they're gonna do. Just play the map, wait for that one timing, and then go for something. They're setting up top already as the next objective. But will they wait for E-Blade or not then? Maybe they just go. This is the hardest tower for Nigma to defend in the game, so probably you're gonna see them sell it. Taking this tower is very, very easy with Aegis compared to the other tier 2s, just because of positional advantage the attackers have. In both bottom and mid, the defending team have more angles.
GH showing himself with that Sunray.
Delaying a bit.
Giving up the shard for himself, but like you said, a little play behind. They might just give this up.
Sumail hits so freaking hard. He has Wolf Aura and Empower level 4. Like, I think he got plus about 60% damage here from these two.
Plus the Empower, yeah, it's quite a lot.
It's strong.
But if you look at the net worth, this is a very even game. You can see from ILTW's perspective, he is obviously farming really well. Went for a Diffusal, by the way, as a third item. Not the most common thing. Obviously, I would assume this is against the Morphling, if nothing else, to try to drain that mana.
It feels like the carry you buy Diffusal against. Yeah, it's just that. Like, it's also one of the few carries that you would even see Gyros buy Diffusal against. Once Morpheus Mana Burn, his impact is just very, very limited.
Oh, we're gonna have to wait for Sumail. Kuro staying alive just a little bit longer. So that is not by LTW. All right, that is the Agent. They got the tier 2, the Agent for follow. Here's the Margarine on top of the Agni. Terrorize is used on a couple of heroes, but this is not going to turn into any kills, at least not yet. Looks like everybody's able to retreat successfully.
It is a really good Terrorize, though. Without this Morph dice, he absolutely has to cast it to save Sumail. He's caught in the wall of the arena. There's Vessel, there's a Terrorblade just laying into him. Chen's heals are relatively insignificant in that instance, so, yep. Good Terrorize, and now that meta is used, OG could look for their own move. Like, yeah, you've expended Hand of God, but I think this trade-off favors you. There's no Supernova either.
They just got scanned, so Nigma are aware of this, no doubt about it. So while we wait for this failed gank, I assume it's going to be a failed gank. To talk a little bit about items. Maelstrom is done for Thompson. He is 300 away from finishing Agnum Scepter. Okay, this is a hero we have yet to actually discuss in depth, Synderin, and I say that very sarcastically because we've talked about probably an hour's worth about the Hoodwink.
Is find MC here?
Mind control. Oh
my god, you were supposed to see him.
I think he did see them and he just didn't realize. It's like there's no way there's a Mars in this game, right? This is Dota. That doesn't sound very lore friendly. Anywho, what do you think of Ags with the boomerang?
I think it's pretty good, especially with Morphling. Like, marking a key target for the Morphling to kill is very strong. It's just the overall amplification of it in a game where, honestly, a lot of this is just going to come down to who gets the first pick, right? Like, that's what you want in this game. You have a Blink Skewer versus a Avenge swap. So getting that immediate key kill is really big. I still have to fully start appreciating the Ags on Hoodwink without having lens. I think having cast range limitations can be annoying on this hero. Because yeah, like if you cast a boomerang, you kind of expose yourself in this game. Like, you can then get caught by level 2 swap, or you can get caught by a Mars Arena. You can get caught by a tornado at any point, right? But his next item is going to ensure that doesn't happen. He's just queuing up a BKB as his third item here, and I really like that from Thompson. I think it's a great choice. Ensure that you get to land that key spell and dish your extra damage.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that it gives you minus 25% status resist with a lineup that has Magnus RP sounds kind of scary.
No, that's a simple synergy.
Spell damage. We have a smoke now from Nigma. ILTW showing the illusions here. He is working towards the Scotty next, not super close, just has the one ultimate orb for now.
Thompson gets
talked about the E-Blades. We got the Sharpshooter off, but what happens when you die with Sharpshooter? It looks like it goes off successfully. For the win, 50 seconds on the deck, no bind, but big terrorize into an RP! But there's the Phoenix Shield from the sideline, and now Sumail getting 4 staffs to safety. Tornado's going to connect with that Spirit Vessel applied. He turns into Phoenix, though. Dives to safety.
So clutch for No Tail,
okay
dude!
for now. No Tail. He's the one getting chased out of the Fuse Blade. Is enough to easily take him out to the 44 right now. They take out the Mars in the turn. Miracle is in so much trouble. He gets dropped like nothing. And Sumail, I thought he was out of there, but he goes back in to fight. Really well done.
Oh my goodness, that was so clutch from No Tail. All right, hang on, we're not done yet.
Swap. Magic Missile. These heroes are all over the place. ILTW pops the meta. They want to fight for sure. First crown is applied to him as Kuro's getting chased by Sumail. We'll just assume he dies here. Looks like Seb's going to get to safety though in the meantime. And GH, Sumail might be in some trouble. Gets off the attribute shift though. Doesn't want to be in the vicinity of ILTW, of course.
Okay, so basically the way Nigma start that fight, they kill the Hoodwink for free. Oh well, they use Arena, right? And then we get this good RP coming out from Seb with Morph on top, but they cast Vessel on Morph, they start laying into him, he's used E-Blade defensively, so he can't save himself. But guess what? When he gets Tornado in the river, a little Satyr creep walks in, and with one Purge, removes Tornado and Vessel. It just sneaks up the river, and full-on saves the Morph, gives Sumail a reset, and he can come back in and find that Miracle kill and eventually get out. The little Satyr that probably the entire fight, to be honest. I think Sumail is dead there and Miracle lives, and then Nigma get extra kills on the way out. Damn. So huge. It's the little things
of the game.
I mean, that's the thing with Chen, right?
Barely ever see.
There is always the potential, right? It's just that a lot of the times you don't find these moments where you theory craft what the hero can do with these neutral people, right? Like, Ice Armor can be amazing, the Purge can be amazing, the Auras can be amazing in the right moments. But a lot of the time you don't find the moment, even if it exists in the game, but No Tail finds it there. Really, really key moment from him. Dude, this game is so close, actually. It's really close.
No Tail is working on a shard, by the way, so that'll allow Divine Favor to be cast on allies, which gives you the old TP back.
Yeah.
Okay, he actually stunned himself there. Mind control. Okay, the Cataclysm, he's just...
Sometimes you just die, you know?
Yeah, horribly.
I wonder how many times they could have killed him there in a row if he just respawned instantly.
Mini game. Somebody add that to the arcade.
Probably 3 or 4 times. They had a lot of damage. But yeah, I gotta say though, like the gold is even in this game, 2k lead for Nigma. But if you let's try to think a little bit ahead here in the game. I don't. Oh, whoa. He just walked in there. All right,
Dead,
that's
he's speared, and
not
he's
gonna
dead.
end well. Nigma are definitely covering that angle. So, okay, let's say this game progresses, right? You go later in the game. You have Invoker, Phoenix, and Terrorblade, arguably 3 of the single best late game heroes in their individual positions. Invoker gets crazy when BKBs get low. Phoenix, in my book, perhaps the single best late game support on average when it has all the levels and the refresher. And then Terrorblade, one of the best late game carries. What do OG have that matches? I think Chen falls off. You just undoubtedly will be weaker, right? Compared to these other heroes. Then you have the Mag Morph, which, as we've talked about, the Empower is nice, but it can get a little awkward, and once Aeon Discs come out, you kind of counter Mag to a larger extent. So I think a lot of what OG has to do to win this game actually has to come from Soxa. That's gonna be the hero I'm looking at. You need huge Terrorize, you need to maybe isolate a hero with Bedlam so you get ahead in the fight. It's just, I don't know, man. I think OG has played a really, really good game. But for me, strategically, this is when the real battle begins. You didn't get ahead with your Chen strategy. Now you're 30 minutes in against Aegis and Cheese. This is
they definitely
going to be
have
hard.
An uphill battle to fight for sure. The shard, I'm actually not 100% sure who took it. It's either the Phoenix or the Invoker. But either way, I think maybe GH had the shard already. It's the Sunray through Egg, obviously. And then Miracles is the triple meatball surprise.
The shard one is great with Mars, right? I kind of like the old shard concept. I feel like it could have been worked on a bit more. The Vector Ice Wall. I think that was a cool idea.
Yeah.
I wonder why that got removed so fast. ILTW?
Oh my goodness. All right, Boomerang onto ILTW. We have the Mars Arena out. Thompson's in a lot of trouble. Cataclysm to follow. He's going to get clipped by a couple of those Sunstrikes. I thought he tried to go to the low ground, but it didn't work. Is he still stuck here? The Sunray doing so much damage, but Thompson finally finds his way out. Oh, RP was used. Only connects onto Kuroki, and Seb is going to pay with his life. It's going to cost him Kuroki, though, so it's a 1-for-1 trade, but that's an offlaner for position 5.
All right, tell me
this.
this.
2 is destroyed.
You get a 0-man RP, and the enemy support dies. Are you happy you got a kill, or sad that you missed the RP?
Probably the latter.
Yeah, probably me too. That was just not good. That's no need to sugarcoat that. Seb just blinked RP to ground, and he even had the ward vision. He had vision advantage, just airballed it completely.
Well, to be fair, they did get Aegis, so that is something.
They did.
Right? I mean,
it was a really good job.
It wasn't because of the RP.
Yeah, that is correct.
I mean, you can, if you're trying to, when you're in a team, you need somebody to boost the team up a bit. You can include the RP as part of the reason that you got the Aegis, but deep down inside, you freaking know that it had nothing to do. Just one of those things. Got to play the mind games with your own team sometimes. But Thompson has a BKB.
They have the single target damage, right? So the way they kill LTW, you obviously have the E-Blade Morph, you have the Boomerang, as well as the Dark Willow with Bedlam if needed. If you connect all these things, you can definitely kill him. He's playing without BKB on Terrorblade until now. He just got it. So now it gets a lot harder. But yeah, OG, they do get the Aegis away, but it's still a 3k gold swing the way of Nigma in the following minute. So they are gaining more and more on the map. Mars closing in on Deso will be a huge damage boost to the Terrorblade. Obviously applying that with Dodge Rebuke is very strong. Miracle. Yep, saying hello to Seb.
EMP wants to blink to safety, but Thompson is in the area. Has another Scurry available. Bushwhack will not hit though. Miracle. He's going to be spotted though. The Force Staff with No Tail, with the Penitence applied.
Can he blink?
Look at that slow. What a spell. He blinks. Right, Thompson now might be pops that BKB sharpshooter with the Boomerang. That's a lot of damage. Terrorize onto a couple heroes. But here comes Mind Control with the arena, only on the No Tail though. And it looks like Miracle did find his way to the grave regardless, so not able to save him. Now Mind Control will be the sacrifice as well. So a double kill for Sumail. Started as a chase that I thought he was going to be able to get out of. Nigma.
Miracle had the choice of running. He was safe. He was out, and then because of the getting the blink off, he thought there was a turnaround on top of him. But that BKB, I think Miracle didn't account for it. He went to Vessel and Cold Snap him, and he just got Acorn shot Bushwhacked on the Invoker and died. He doesn't have BKB yet, so obviously getting caught there
By
is
the
a
way,
kill.
during your monologue, Kuro's been running this whole time.
he
It's
is,
just a huge marathon. He gets the bounty rune. He wants to use his spells because, you know, they're available. He does die. It takes a while.
That's a heads-up play from OG, though. Taking advantage of that misstep from Miracle, and Miracle's team trying to help him there just gives them bonus kills and the tower. All right. Guess OG just got 5k gold out of this one kill.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing when you play
And it just
against
shouldn't
OG,
have happened.
correct me where I'm wrong here. You see a lot this from OG, but they play so aggressive. Sometimes it looks like the wrong move, but it works out in their favor sometimes, sometimes not, obviously. But at the very least, you're controlling the tempo, right?
Yeah.
Feels like Nigma are almost forced to play the way that OG are in some cases, or they get baited into, whereas OG are the ones more comfortable playing that way.
But I think in this particular moment, it was Miracle's choice. Like, he escaped the hyper-aggression that you just talked about, the chase. He got away and chose to turn. So
Well, that's
he
my
knew what he was
point,
getting
though.
himself
If you're not playing against OG, maybe you don't make that
right, I see what you mean.
move, you know?
Yeah,
an
it's
old
definitely, there's a
basketball
lot
thing.
of pressure
It's a mind
on you.
game thing.
It goes really fast. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, we have a smoke.
My thrift reward.
And they're coming. Oh, Mind Control jumps in, gets the rebuke off some mail. Doing so much damage here, but now he's stuck inside the arena. Here comes the Cataclysm on top of the egg on the sideline. Mail's in a lot of trouble stuck inside this arena. GH with that Sunray doing massive damage. It looks like this is going to be an easy fight for Nigma. Double kill for ILTW. Beautiful smoke execution. Toppin with the sharpshooter in the trees. Again, not able to connect on it. Seb on a cliff, going to be RTZ, but Mind Control can get up there with the rebuke. No, not enough.
Wow, I can't believe he survived that, actually. That was really cool. Really great execution from Nigma there, though. They find the flank on the smoke, and I loved what Mind Control did. His smoke breaks, but he doesn't instantly blink arena. He gets in, he gets a little bit of information, and then he finds his key target, which is the Willow. He walks in, BKBs, and make sure to lock that down, because without that terrorize, there isn't that disengage reset button that OG desperately need when they get jumped on. It's been Soxa this game saving them in a lot of bad situations, and Mind Control just took that away from them. This is easily one lane, maybe even two, so now set to 40. It could look like it's skewer, but
no buyback. Meta is on cooldown for a long time, but ILTW still has the cheese, so not super scared.
Nigma's going to respect this. They don't know if Morph has buyback, and it can get dicey with a blink skewer in their own base, so paying respect to OG.
has a refresher, by the way. I don't know if we mentioned that.
I have not.
So,
and now he's going
double
disc,
egg.
which we talked.
Yeah. The item of the patch that, I don't know if you feel the same way, would not be sad if it was literally deleted instead of just nerfed. Maybe the nerf is being deleted.
I'm down with that if you remove status resistance too, then. That's a trade-off I'll take.
No! Cinderin, why do you have to be that kind of a guy? Why? Guys, this is cool. Yeah, that means that you don't have to buy BKB literally every game. That's the beauty of status resist. But you still have to.
I suppose.
You still have to buy the BKB, but it makes it
timeless
seem
relic. The
Okay.
tier 4 item for Invoker, it's either that or Spell Prism. Those are the ones you want to see if you're Miracle, and they get the other one as well.
Right,
I think
which one's more important?
probably give the Prism to Terrorblade? Or does he want to have the Sliver? I'm just thinking you can spam out way more map pressure with Conjure Image. You get low cooldown on Metamorphosis. He's actually taking the Prism on Invoker, so... Okay, so GH will get the Relic. That's also a good split.
Has been slain.
Yeah, I mean, you got to talk about
GH does a lot of
Titan
damage.
Sliver. In terms of the Titan Sliver heroes, I mean, Terrorblade has got to be top 2.
Oh, right, it's a
Morphlin's up
TB.
there
Of
as
course you
well.
want the Sliver for the base damage. Yeah, no way. You definitely keep that one.
Usually the 20% base damage is like, it's not that much. It's the other stats that are important, but for him, it's very
Look at
nice.
it. So they got
at what?
Telescope as well. So now Kuro gives him bonus attack range. He has basically permanent double base damage.
Cinder, man, we got the arena. Soxa looks to be dead, but starts the fight for the RP from Seb, comes on the silent, but the BKB already popped by ILTW. There's the buyback now from Soxa. The egg forces everybody out. Seb on the run. BKB no more. Same power option before. Now Miracle, applying some pressure to no-tail. This fight is very segregated. Swap on the ILTW. Still has the stunner, but there's the terror. Google the damage to actually burst first room with the Sunray coming through as well, trying to heal as much as he can. But Saksa with the Venom, that is enough. Terrorblade is dead. Does have buyback though. It's going to cut some mail though. He's not careful. Trying to heal up through this Sunray, but it's not going to happen. A triple kill for Miracle as he is just going ham right now. Fully healthy as well. With that Spell Prism in his inventory, Saksa gets off the Yules for now. Seth on the sideline. He cannot do anything with this Cold Snap Spirit Vessel combination. Ultra kill for Miracle. He's looking for more, but now he's a little bit low. Saksa gets off the Shadow Realm, but Miracle's going to live for now. Looks like he's going to be okay. Looking for No-Tail on the sideline now. Goes up to the high ground. He wants his Rampage, Cinderman. I don't know if it's too late. He gets it. Rampage for freaking Miracle. He's now inside the arena. The triple meatball surprise as Sumail has to wait for him to safety. Only he and Hoodwink are alive. Maybe not for long. This could be a dieback on the Thompson, and it is just that. A double Rampage for Miracle. And that might be it for game one. Holy jeez.
And I was going to compliment OG in that situation for finding the kill on Terrorblade. I feel like there's less than a handful of teams in the world that even find that kill after the way that fight started. It was incredible spellcasting to make them get this kill on LTW, but Nigma supporting cast, GH with two amazing supernovas. They're going to find Hoodwink here. BKB is ready.
Skewered back into the brunt of things. Stops with the BKB. He's just melting under the pressure. And Sumail looks to be next. He finds Kuro, but that looks like it's going to be the only kill for him. Like, gets back into the stop though. With the Sunray coming through with that Spirit Vessel, there's not a whole lot to be done. And that'll be basically it. Oh, the skewer onto two into the fountain, not quite in range to get both of them. And the GGs come out. Nigma, game one victors, best of three, lower bracket to see who faces Tundra in the grand finals. Man, that was a lot of fun to cast. I
think to everyone's surprise, this game was really high skill. So there. Really, I feel like the end thing that wins Nigma this game is they got the second Roche, right? They got the second Roche and they build a big advantage.
Invoker, pero le puede terminar costando caro. Lo logra y se sale con la suya.
5 seconds remaining. Radiant team, ban. Ten seconds remaining. Dire team, ban. Radiant team, ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team pick. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining.
A very back and forth first game here between OG and Team Nigma. And we talked a lot about that because it was a fun game to watch. There was a lot happening and it was also very interesting to see how the draft went. I know that the teams are also needing to talk a lot about this, but they don't really have any more time as we are ready for the draft of Game 2. And here to break it down, we got Milan, we got T-Gov, we talked about IO Luna banned out. Not this time around. They leave the IO in, but they pick it themselves instantly. Team Nigma answers with still the IL2W, Luna, and the Tusk there also for GH. IO Gyro, Milan, you wanna give your opinion on these openings first?
This is what we discussed. They're gonna ban some, take some. They're gonna take the IO and the Gyro. We talked, me and T Governor, that we want to see OG pick this carry early. They have the trouble of people banning out all their carries, and their 24 Arc Ward and 24 Morphling didn't really work out. They need to change something. This is possibly their last game in this qualifier. They need to adapt, and they're showing it. They're one of the best teams at adapting, and they pick up the Gyro. This could also be a Thompson Gyro. He's kind of famous for it, that TI game with the Fusion. And, yeah.
True. What do you make of it, T?
I'm just having a little think, you know, because of course Nigma, when they pick Tusk Luna, that's often going to be their laning partner. So it'll be GH playing with RTW, most likely in that lane. And then we're going to obviously see Kuroki playing with Mind Control again. And yeah, like Milan said, when you pick this early Gyrocopter, like, big fan of seeing the early carry pick. I think it opens up Toxin to have a bit of better understanding of what he wants from the game, rather than him having to kind of mold his playstyle to what's being forced onto him, type of thing. And yeah, I think just it's going to be the efficiency. I think when we look back at game 1, it's like this Morphling is still top net worth in this game. Like the way in which OG is utilizing the jungle and just the map itself, they are always propping up Sumo to be like this number one carry in any game, no matter how like what the start feels like. So when you have Io and Gyro as well, so your carry already has a better farming pattern than like what the Luna will have. It looks comfortable from both sides, really.
It really does. In the previous game, we had the first 18 minutes, we had 30 kills. Kind of unusual. Milan, when you play a game like that, where there's so many kills that early on, right? Game 2, are you trying to prepare yourself to do the same, or do you try to go for a little bit of an approach that might reduce the chaos a bit there in that early game?
I think it's just a OG factor, and like they prepare for it. They're thinking preemptively, but you shouldn't think of Dota in that way. Like every game, it's for itself, and like you just try to make the best possible play, not like reduce the kills or slow it down. Just think what's the best and do the best play, not the safest one, not the most surprising one, the best one. That's how they probably look at it. I want to talk about the Winter Wyvern ban. I think they need to ban Mars too. They're gonna look for a last pick miracle. They want to get like a Wyvern is a very good ban, and I think they'll just go with the Mars plus Kuroki range hero, like a Hoodwink. That's what they're looking at, and I think Mars is very good against this range win conditions. So his third spell is just too annoying.
It's kind of the tried and tested as well, right? Like when you think of Mars Hoodwink, it's what they ran twice against Liquid in their victory in the previous series. And I agree. I think Mars, you just need to get rid of it. Like when I think of OG, the heroes that I want to have in a game against them, it's like just anti 5-man Dota. You know, like Mars, even like a Warlock when Liquid would play against them, they go for that. Like just these heroes that go, no, if you want to run at us, we will kill you. And yeah, there's the Mars ban.
What is the other hero for the is it the Timber Saw?
It's
yeah. I mean they banned it first game. The Timber is pretty cute.
Timber Tide probably, right? Just one of these
They
more
had,
bigger
Tide
bigger
Hunter.
lads. Yeah, Tide probably.
When they had Alina Tusk, they've had Luna Tusk before. It was indeed the Mars Hoodwink. They've also had Slardar with the Tusk another time to get some bit of minus armor, but they did pair that Slardar up with Avenge that time around. But they go for the Razor, straight up.
Oh, this is a flex. This is a flex for sure. This is the Miracle Mind Control flex. And Razor is pretty good like condition against Gyro. Like, if you get the link on him, like he's gonna have much impact.
And also, it does mean like if OG is trying to be a bit creative with the gyrocopter, like the Razor covers you as well, right? Because if it is, let's say, a gyro mid in some rare scenario, Razor goes there as well. Like gyro doesn't get to play Dota in the mid lane. Like it completely mitigates this flex.
Punish flex with a flex. I like
Exactly.
to say,
Yeah.
you know?
There we go.
So what do we want to see
is
from the
the-
setup OG?
What is the Saxa here? I think this is the IO for Notel, right?
Yeah. I
I
kind of
play some IO, but I don't think it's like not recently. Like, he's not in the zone. The
Just go for the
yeah,
hood,
I mean,
okay.
this is the kind of flex too.
I don't mind
depends
it.
on-
I don't know who said it in a cast. Maybe it was like Folk.Cinder, and they can argue who said it. But like they described Hoodwink as like a ranged Nyx assassin. You know, like he's always scurrying throughout the map. He's looking to set things up and enables. And I think when you have Gyro, you want to have that hero that has that kind of positional advantage, be it some Bane running with a Nightmare, some Nyx Vendetta, or Hoodwink in this scenario, because it sets up for that it sets up for that +1 kind of presence in the fight. But again, this is a weird scenario for OG because coming into this, deciding game, they forced to pick an IO when they haven't done this at all in the tournament. Like teams haven't really banned it against them. Like this is the development of these two teams kind of butting heads against each other. So this is kind of like a newer draft that we've had to see.
It's also a deny pick if you think of it. I think the Kuroki would have picked IO here on this slot. But, I mean, not IO, the
Hoodwink.
They picked Hoodwink 17 slot like many times. Like I would like say 3-4 times they did this at this exact slot. And like I'm curious what he's gonna pick up. Like, is there a time for like a disruptor? Something a bit out of box against the Gyro IO. Like maybe even the Warlock.
The anti-OG hero. I'm down.
Yeah. If you're gonna fight all the time anyway, Fiddle Bomb's pretty darn good. Also, side note, No-Till is actually one of the players with the highest play rate, I believe, of IOs in the past because of his time on Fnatic at that point. Normally when he was running the IO Gyro, he was always the IO. So I think even though he hasn't played it for a little while, I'm sure he's going to be able to perform the way he should.
Should be fine. I think I'm just gonna say ET maybe for Nigma. Because
the melee hero is kind of puts like a Razor offlane like a better option.
Yeah.
That is a good angle.
It's like the idea is I want to be able to.
Alchemist.
Is this like a cheap way of saying it? But is this like the deny pick, right? Like, do they want to prevent?
This is definitely a deny pick.
This is a deny, right? This is like there's. Okay.
Woo!
I mean, they can choose what to do because they have the 24. They can choose to like. They can choose to put Alchemist mid, Razor mid, Razor support on Kuroki. Alch on Kuroki, like they can see and choose, but the OG did their best on Alchemist when they pick it 8 or 18. Like they know their lane and they know he's gonna get this good timing on the Ags and they have the Gyro. As we discussed, they had the issues. They picked the Alchemist. They don't get the Gyro. They don't get the Monkey King. They don't get the Luna. They don't get the good combo. But now it would be perfect. And Nigma, what a move.
And now because they have Luna as well, like these. Just a casual win runner.
I mean,
It's gonna
normally
be
when we
win on a
see
mid,
Raid
then?
Runner, it's last pick, but
Okay,
interesting.
so a lot of so if this is okay, the slacks coefficient strikes again. Pick Windrunner, you know, elimination game, whatever. But I think Windrunner as a hero, if you're playing it mid, it works well when there isn't like innate tower damage. So you can just power shot your wave out, you can slowly get to 2-3 items because like the hero is very dominant once you get to like BKB Ags +1, you know, like Maelstrom, whatever. Like that's your time. Before then, you're kind of just a shackle bot enabling your team. So if it is going to be your mid lane, like basically Windrunner and Hoodwink right now are 4 and 2 into the end of the draft, right? These are going to be your flex, and Seb will have ultimate last pick. But
I want to add on that Seb is known for his Windranger, at least from the pubs. Seb is known for his, he's one of his signature heroes actually, I would say. So there is still option of picking up like a melee hero and putting Windranger offlane. Like I think they'll probably do that.
Sure, okay.
They ban the bees, so they think the Seb is heroes yet to be picked. Yeah, but I could easily see Seb do this against Luna.
What specific build does he go in pubs? Is it like anything quirky?
I think there is no builds on Windranger. It's just
whatever you feel.
No, it's just a boost, javelin, maelstrom into blink or BKB.
Okay.
I think like the Windranger specialists like VP save, they always do this build.
Yeah,
I scout them, they do one single build. They ban Magnus and B, so they think it's like a Windranger mid or two. They're with you, T. And they ban the Medusa.
OG ban out Morphling and Medusa, so they are expecting this Luna probably to be a support.
Yeah,
that's true.
We talked about this pre-game. Luna.
We did. We mentioned it as one of the heroes that could be flex, but it's interesting to see it so pronounced. And the Centaur coming out here, so yeah, we will have a Windranger, and Seb will take on the Centaur. And indeed, a core coming out last for Team Nigma, so it's going to be a support.
So what's happening with Windrunner and Hoodwink?
Support Razor!
Yeah.
Just a casual 5 Razor.
Casual 5 Razor.
It is a mid Windrunner. Okay.
It's a good. I want to mention it's a good matchup for the Ember. Like the Windranger specialists, they say they really don't like the Ember matchup. It's like he's too annoying. Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know. This is Team Nigma. They're bringing out like a casual 5 Razor in this game. I think this is.
I'm not sure.
I think that's kind of going to be potentially like a non-factor at the end of this game because it's going to be the out giving away these early ags, the grouping, the run at you. Like it's going to be the whole story of Nigma's actually going to be taking the aggression to OG, and this time OG, they want to play the slower game. They just want to get Sumo to top net worth. They want Topson to have BKB plus 2 or 3 items, and I think Nigma just trying to now take OG's playstyle, which is kind of what Nigma wanted to do during DPC, right? Croaky always mentioned they want to play aggressive, and this is the draft to do it.
Milan, I got a question, because even though No-Tail, he's got the most IO games of any pro out there, he hasn't played it since February against Thunder in the DPC, and he's paired up with Sumail, who's only in the team recently. You were talking earlier about how your IO +1 combinations, they got to train for a lot. How much do you feel like that's going to impact this game?
I think No-Tail is one of the most talented players in Dota history, and I think he's got it. I think he's gonna be on point. This is a very important game. He's gonna show up. I think OG might have an edge if they show up. They dominate the safe lane. I think they probably can. Like they can dominate the safe lane, and this Sumail is not gonna wait for his item. He's gonna go and get them. He's gonna farm them. That's how I can see this. And I got
I think that a lot of people would like to see OG take this one, even the Team Nigma fans perhaps, because that means we get more Dota between these two teams. And I think we're all for that. I know 2 people that are definitely all for that, Sunsfan and Synderen, ready for game 2.
Thank you, Shiver. Synderen, is this an Alchemist game?
Yes.
How do you know?
There's an Alchemist on the Dire team.
Oh, okay. Just checking. Thank you so much for clearing that.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you, Rich.
They've already smoked up, and it's going to be broken, and Soxa was in the trees, so it's like they'll be spotted out.
I gotta say, before we get started here, so it looks like nobody's gonna run into each other here yet, at least. I really liked seeing this draft. I think it was very clear, like the panel were talking about how much flex mattered in it. Like both teams were consistently trying to outsmart each other by picking a hero that can play another 3 roles, etc., etc. And they end up with a 5 Razor, offlane Alchemist, and finally last pick Miracles mid Ember. And this is a very good Ember game. Nice deny there from Soxa. I think Ember is a really good hero against, first of all, against Centaur, because it's something that Stampede can't get you away from. The slide chains are very reliable and strong setup for Luna as well as Tusk to connect. It's a good spell against Windranger. And also against like Hoodwink. Like, I find that any mid hero, any of the spirits in this game would actually have been good, right? When you look at the Radiant lineup. Something that can outrange the Centaur and escape, something that can dodge the Shackle Shot and the Bushwhack. It's a very high skill game for Miracle, where if he does a very good job, there's so many big plays to be made, but it's also a bit of a minefield. So, just to be on his toes here. Cool draft though. OG getting IO Gyro.
I mean, individually, like looking at some of these heroes. First of all, we get to see Alchemist, which isn't the most popular hero these days. Offlane, which means he probably, correct me if I'm wrong, will be going for Ag's Gifts at some point. That's the standard, at least back in the day. We see a position 5 Razor. What the hell, Synderin? As you can see, the Kuroki's Razor history here.
Yep.
And not that many games.
It's true. He lost with it back in October 2014, and he was like, okay, I'm never picking this hero again. Then 5.5 years later, he forgot the promise he made, picked it again, and then he was like, oh, wait, I'm never playing this hero again. But this time, only 1 year later, I guess with age comes earlier memory loss, so I guess he forgot it again a little bit faster this time. But yeah, last 2 Razor games with some losses there. I think a really cool thing about the Razor pick this game is that it's obviously targeted against the Gyro at the point in the draft that they get it. But when Nigma realized they can get a lot of value about putting it support, they actually don't skill the static link level 1 against Gyro lane. He skills Plasma Field, and what they do against this IO Gyro lane, they literally just shove in every wave. They Plasma Field it, they acid spray it, they get the CS, and they back off. This is a really, really good way for a lot of dual lanes to play in quote-unquote unfavorable matchups, is to avoid the fight ever happening, right? Like, they're actually just going to keep doing this, and they're going to send down mana regen on Kuro, as well as Mind Control, probably getting... Does he have a Soul Ring already coming down here? No, he doesn't. But I do reckon he will get a Soul Ring. And you just keep pushing it. That means Io and Gyro don't get to play aggressive anymore. Concoction.
We have the Homing Missile coming out, but the Concoction early level from Mind Control.
Pretty good damage.
Applying a lot of pressure here. Thompson again gets first blood mid lane. So these guys in their mid lane, I'm expecting Thompson to die in about 15 to 20 seconds for no particular reason. This is like ridiculous, like level 2, level 3 deaths. That is not super common at all as Miracle comes back to lane, so he'll be at the disadvantage, but he has the HP advantage right now.
I think in this game, the kill mid was more likely than in the last game.
True.
I think Windranger does have, especially knowing Thompson's player personality, right? He's possibly the most hyper-aggressive mid laner when he has a favorable matchup. So he's literally just constantly running at him and harassing him. Bottom lane, lots of damage once again. Io, one of the better supports at dealing with this from a defensive perspective of keeping the carry healthy, but not very good at pushing out the wave. So once again, they're just going to keep shoving this into the Gyro and Io in the bottom lane, and then pulling non-stop. Same story from Nigma.
And I mean, this is just going to force OG to buy even more in the way of regeneration as well. You see that coming out on the courier, but talk to me about Razor versus Gyro. Is it the idea that static link is just even more effective on Gyro once he gets Ag? It's basically like you're taking double damage away from him in some respects, right?
Right. As far as the core matchup goes, the idea is that Gyro's late game and mid game contribution is so much from flat cannon and the second flat cannon in a fight with the 18-second cooldown. If you static link full drain, Gyro struggles in a lot of fights to get that damage output out. And like you said, it's great against the eggs too. So that is the idea as a core. As a support in this game, I don't know if Kuro can rely on finding a link on Gyro. He's obviously going to try, but I think OG's job here will be to make sure the support Razor just doesn't get into the fight.
Top lane, we see Ice Shard with the tag team, but the Bushwhack is there from Saksa to save Seb. We'll talk about the Centaur in just a moment, Syndrome, because, you know, me and him go way back in terms
you're a fan.
Not as much anymore, I'll be honest, but, you know, it is what it is. We've had our time in the sun. Sometimes you just got to move on. But you talk about how it's not particularly good against the Ember, but what about versus everybody else this game? Is it just like one of those generic off-lane heroes where, you know, it's not like he's terrible by any means, but does it have like a really good place going to the mid game?
It's a good hero against Luna. The way Luna lineups work is a lot about balling up, getting in there with Eclipse, dealing a lot of damage when the fight is contained, and Centaur can break that up with one button, as long as you're not caught by chains, right? Or a concoction, they can reset. I think it was also just a, like, not just that, but it's also about what hero pool OG usually play with, right? Like, some of Seb's heroes were banned in the last phase, and they want something that pairs well with a Hoodwink in lane. Centaur Hoodwink is a very strong burst lane. It's the kind of heroes that Hoodwink really loves to play with in lane are the ones where you hit a bushwhack and the follow-up is so overwhelming that you can find kills. Alright, well, gotta hit it though.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. I mean, it's only a level 1 double edge. Like, how much kill potential do they actually have? Because back in the day, the kill potential with Centaur, okay, he's going to get stuck in the shards. The Lucent Beam is there as well. The Fairy Fire is going to keep him alive. He gets the kill first, but falls shortly after the ILTW.
Not bad from Seb to trade there, actually. Sure, the kill goes to Soxa, but I thought that was just going to be a 1-for-0. But he did have the damage. I want to point out, by the way, Thompson is dumpstering Miracle this game. This is not even remotely close. Last game, he got the first blood, Miracle got it back, and then they kind of equalized. Thompson is 1,000 net worth ahead minute 5. He is completely ruining Miracle's lane. 37-11 against 18-0. I have not seen Miracle lose a lane this hard in this qualifier so far. That's a really sign for OG. Miracle's level 4. Thompson is almost level 7.
Yeah.
In this lane.
It's almost a 3-level advantage. Holy,
just relentless.
That's crazy. But there is some comeback potential from Ember as a hero, as Seth is going to die again top lane. So a couple early deaths for him, which will provide Soxa with some much needed levels. I guess you could take it as a silver lining, if nothing else. But yeah, what is the comeback potential for Ember this game? Because it is a hero that can come back, but in what scenarios will he need to find them?
Yeah, Ember usually comes back through plays, right? If he has a hard time, going to farm a lot will generally be a bit slow. All right, check shot. I'm gonna connect. But who do you connect with? Probably you play around the Tusk, I would imagine. Try to find some good kills together on side lanes. Io Gyro are very susceptible to Ember rotations because they don't have any lockdown, so Ember can just get on top of them and chase them down. You can relatively easily slide dodge the rocket if you have good timing. So I would like to see Miracle go there for his first play, if he can get to that bottom lane.
Yeah, No Tail actually baited out the static link on to himself, and then just tethered away, and that's going to set up a nice kill here for Sumail. So that was actually a really smart play from No Tail. Very high IQ. No Tail, and I mean, these players in this game have so much history in Dota. They played like every freaking hero between him and Kuroki.
Like sometimes, I'm sorry, but sometimes I feel like the way OG used the chat wheel and the tips and stuff is just Markov chain. Like, they kill Kuro, he goes, "I love this game so much, man. Banjo charge," and then he tips Miracle mid. Like, what did this have to do with literally anything?
The whole idea is to be as random as possible, so that thought that's going through your head is it's gonna be a focus fire mid right now, Miracle.
He's just pressing all of his buttons.
I mean, confusion.
All right, we did something good, guys. Rolls hand over keyboard, you know?
Yeah, it's all about the chaos. 100% it's about the chaos.
But you're right, like, the thing you were saying about playing all these heroes at this level, right? Like, at this point, there's... The biggest surprise in this game will not come from, like, the playstyle of the players and what their heroes can pull off. It's the strategy itself, right? In the draft, I think the Alchemist pick caught OG off guard, but they adjusted well on the fly. And... honestly though, if Thompson hadn't been destroying Miracle this hard, that's true. That is true. Really sorry about that. If Thompson hadn't been running mid over this hard, Miracle will be in a, or Nigma in general will be in a pretty good position in this game. So there obviously is that individual skill factor. I don't think this mid lane goes like this every game. Like if they play it 10 times, Miracle loses this hard maybe once or twice. So really big for Thompson to come up like that in this deciding game for them. They have to.
I mean, the crazy thing is that could have gone the same way last game if he just didn't die right after he got the original kill, right? Because that's when you typically snowball.
I don't think the matchup allows for it. I don't think, even if Hoodwink gets the first kill on Invoker, I don't think you can win the lane this hard. But with Windranger, you can't. Oh my god, he's pressuring him so hard.
That's a lot of damage. That
Miracle
is
forced away.
Crap ton of damage.
Doesn't even get his own range creep in the tower.
Well,
Stampede?
see a Stampede. They can try to go for ILTW. Ice Shards are there.
Great
the
shards.
break. No, they block them out very nicely done. The homing missile was very close. but no cigar. So Sumail, that's the first attempt at the relocate gank. And back he goes to farming in the bot lane. He's pretty close to his Maelstrom. Do you want to see any particular build? Is it always Aghanim Scepter after this? I've seen a little bit of leeway in the build for Gyros, but what would you prefer this game? As mind control, taking a focus fire. As the concoction on, it looks like it'll create enough space here. Thompson will not find himself.
This will be a big pair.
Yeah, this will be a big kill for Miracle if he can get it. Windrun is there for Thompson. He's continuing on with that focus fire. My god, the duration of this is insane. Gets off the power shot. That'll lead him into a kill, but the untimely death, that is exactly what Miracle needed.
That is actually such a dream outcome for Thompson. Considering you're getting jumped by 3 or 4 heroes, not only did you get a kill, but you got killed by Tusk. Yeah. It was not the Ember that found that kill bounty. So, and forced a big rotation from Nigma. I don't think he feels too bad about that. The logic in this move from him to begin with is to shut down the Alchemist farming the jungle, right? But
yeah, for sure.
Probably didn't have any business.
The fact that he got XP and he needed that so freaking bad. Yeah, he did. Right? He was so far behind. That certainly helped.
OG are in here stealing Nigma stacks.
Yeah, and that's gonna cost them. Sumail with a concoction from mind control, getting chased. Nice block off again. My goodness. GH just showing why he is one of the best Tusks in the world. That leads to a kill onto Sumail. But Thompson, again with the focus fire. Shackle Shot's gonna connect. Here comes the snowball though. As Miracle's in the area as well. GH is gonna get brought down eventually. Thompson has to be a little careful here. No trying to heal to a high degree, but not going to be able to do so as No Turn Up will be bursted down as well. So 3 kills, and all it cost them was a GH Tusk. Don't think people able to push this any further as Sumail has come to play as well. As you are just enamored by the band. Man, you are very easily distracted by a banjo. That's good to know.
I don't know why I find this. I don't know why I find this so funny. Like he dies, and the first thing he says is, "I love this game so much, man." He plays his banjo. Like, how is that your reaction to getting killed? He's just keeping morale high. I think they thrive on just pretending that nothing matters.
Alright, in the future, I'm gonna have to buy a banjo so that I can easily distract you from doing your job the rest of the way.
You are generally great at doing that as soon as we get on camera immediately by looking at me weirdly.
Very true. Seb, ILTW setting something up with GH here. Oh, the Lucent Beast gonna be able enough to finish him off into the Eclipse. They lose 1 in the Tusk, and the Eclipse is completely mitigated thanks to the stun to ILTW. There's no banjo yet.
No banjo charges there. He broke the string. Thompson.
Okay.
MC is in a big
focus fire. Mind control looks to be dead. Lucent Beam is there. Oh. Survived a little bit longer than but Thompson is getting out of control. Is he not? I think the Maelstrom's on the way, right? It has to be. This feels like it's been a while. Maybe his courier got killed earlier.
Yeah, I think it did.
Yeah, it's coming now.
So, okay, let's look a little bit ahead. So Gyro is doing very, very well, clearly, and he will go X. I just think it's, you asked earlier, I think it's
Stampede, hook stomp, double edge. Thompson is in the area as well. They're able to take out ILTW, double kill for Sumail with the relocate, and GH definitely regretting his decision to help out. As that'll be a 3rd kill likely for Sumail. Indeed it is. 2K net worth lead for OG. They want to extend this to a game 3.
Yeah, Gyro is getting absolutely enormous. Axe will be up in probably like 3 minutes at this rate for Sumail. So he'll be sitting on Axe Maelstrom Treads minute 16. Oh, they might find Miracle. He has 1 remnant left.
Expectation.
Does hit in the end. Kuroki with the static link. Except forcing Miracle out of the trees, and another shackle shot into another death. This time for Kuroki. TP support from GH. Ready to go. In fact, multiple heroes coming in for Team Nigma. And Seb with the Vanguard just so tanky, they don't want to go on him. Really good positioning here. Another homing miss on a Miracle. Shackle shot connects as well. Beautiful timing of the layering. Obviously, you can't really time that, but very well played either way. At least a much needed kill again onto Miracle. Miracle is having a bit of a rough one.
They're playing heavy punish because of this Alchemist offlane pick. When Mind Control isn't playing these like stronger controllers or lane dominators that he's very famous for, you do open up this vulnerability in Enigma's draft, including a 5 Razor as well, right? Where at this point in time, OG's line's just stronger, so you have to try to play keep away and try to get like long-range kills with beams, with slight chains, this kind of stuff, instead of just fighting head-on into an IO gyro combination. I think your timing, honestly, is Alk getting Ags and giving it to Luna. That's when your lineup suddenly has something special. When Luna gets level 2 Eclipse as well, and you just pump that Ags out in the middle of a fight when BKBs are not available yet, that could be a turning point for Nigma. They kind of have to, honestly, I don't see any other play on the map right now, except maybe getting this one Hoodwink kill bot and the tier 1 tower. Nothing is available for them outside of Soxa.
Gonna pop the scurry, but blocked off by the shards. TP coming in from Set, though. And you can see the sharpshooter was actually used in addition to the Stampede, but no Blink Dagger yet for Seb. He's really close to it, though. But this will be enough to defend this tier 1 tower. In fact, a relocate was popped as well. Is there any way that the Ags is going to go to Miracle instead?
Dire's bottom tower is under
If the game was going according to plan, maybe. It is a great Ags, but I don't think Miracle's game is good enough that he's going to suddenly just change the entire outcome. I think they need to play for that team fight personally, but I could definitely see them choose to do it. It's one of those two, right? Of course without saying.
What, you don't want to see Ags on Kuroki? What are you talking about? Yeah. 5 Razor? I mean,
or
to
Tusk,
be fair,
just kick away the gyro.
Okay, Tusk kick is very underrated, but it's a late game thing and it's against like BKB specifically. That's really strong. But yeah, it's not going to happen.
Except with the dagger, he's looking for an opening here.
Kuroki's in the vicinity. He's not giving his Aghanim Scepter to him. That's very, very unacceptable. That is the captain of your team, Sumail. Looks like he's going to go for this Ancient Stag DH. Yeah, we got the Shackle shot, and that is going to be the death of Tusk to start this fight out. Looks like the rest of Team Nigma not really interested. Like you said, the Ags is on Luna, so you'll get that big time Eclipse, which you can cast on heroes. Miracle, he is focus fire, but looks like he's gonna be fine. Yeah, they're doing a really good job of invading this jungle. It's mind control. Has to concoct himself. That's unfortunate. They're gonna actually Stampede is there. The hook stomp, it's only gonna connect on one, but it is mind control. He'll take that any day of the week. Sumail gets credit for that one. And potentially Roshan is next. 6K net worth lead at 16 minutes. This is a shellacking.
All right, give me your guess on what Gaben thinks in terms of win rate right now. Give me your
Gaben, let's see, it's against an Alchemist. But then again, you have a Razor support, which he probably doesn't have any data on. So I'm gonna say 5% for Team Nigma.
Damn, dude, you did it. Spot on, 95 to 5.
I would say I cheated, but I literally don't know the hotkey to show that still. After 10 years of guess.
Dude, that was a really good guess. Wow, I did not think you were gonna guess that high. That's still... Yep, it's a problem. We don't need to sugarcoat it. Nigma are getting owned. They're 7k down with an Alk. They got bodied in mid lane. These earlier moves have just snowballed with the IO gyro, and I honestly think you're literally looking at... You need to get a 2-hero slight change combination with Eclipse on top. It's probably your only win condition right now in a team fight, is that exact play. And time is ticking, because BKBs will come out. So you kind of got to look for it now.
His remnants are right where Sumail was. The remnant out close to his tier 2 looks like he's fine. I mean, ILTW is level 12, so you do have a level 2
ward by
Eclipse.
Soxa.
Hey, you saw that? Okay.
Just saw that smoke.
Thompson, but they know what's coming, and obviously Roshan already dead. Aegis is on Sumail. Now mind control, homing missile there, and it just feels like there's no getting out of this one. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that he is gonna die here. He's very dead, very, very dead indeed. Enigma, they were in the area, but and smoked obviously, but like you said, it was spotted out early. So yeah, this is getting ugly. Well, okay, into the triangle they go. This would be a huge kill on the Thompson. That's the snowball to start. Oh, the shards break him in, and yeah, there's the Eclipse. Doing a lot of damage, but Thompson's gonna live, but there's the plasma to finish him off. Static will supplied as well. Still has that relocate coming in 3 seconds. We'll see if he continues to tether to Sumail, but looks like it's not gonna be the case. He wants to fight. And despite getting that one kill, ooh, okay, Miracle.
Oh, shucks. I could have waited
Like
a
he might
little bit
live.
longer on the sharpshooter for the kill.
Has one more remnant. Seb, gonna get chained. Soxa has the bushwhack. It's not gonna be the range here. Away he goes. All right, so that's the silver lining for Nigma, that Miracle does live finally. But still,
Usually when a
to be
team
in.
trades the Razor for the Wind Ranger, like, that's pretty even. But in this case,
Yeah.
it's a level 9 position 5 Razor for the level 15 position 2 Wind Ranger. So it's something. But Nigma were hoping for something bigger there. Every Eclipse that doesn't give them a big win means BKB is just that bit closer. And that's the ultimate counter to this Dire lineup. They have nothing against BKB at all. You have a Luna with a little bit of Glaives, that's it. It's not.
Dire's
So the ILTW, I mean, obviously it's pretty early, but has Dragonlance, Yasha, and I mean, you did see the power of that Ags Eclipse.
Okay,
ILTW
maybe
top
turn around
lane.
here.
Okay, with GH's help though, they're able to take out Thompson. So Nigma, they're gonna lose Kuroki on the other side, but again, like you said, they'll take that. So a couple of, I don't know, untimely deaths here for Thompson. Creating a little bit
Yeah,
of open
his BKB
space
is getting
potentially.
delayed at least. Gyros is, of course, already up and running, so he can solve the Eclipse. Wouldn't mind seeing Nota go for a Glimmer Cave this game either. Similar logic, just make sure whoever gets targeted by Eclipse stays alive. Relocate top. They've got GH.
Yep, he's dead. And obviously Roshan is, or the Aegis online for Sumail. Hey, is this, so this feels more like a lineup that can go farther than tier 2s with just the first Aegis. Do you agree with that?
I agree. Yeah. I think so.
We'll see what they can do with it. Sumail is now working on a Scotty for himself. The BKB is at 9 seconds, so it's the max. And I mean, what is Nigma? Do they have a power spike coming? I mean, it's sorry. I looked at Kuroki. He has a mech, which isn't unusual for support, but it's just weird to see for all these years. So is there like some sort of power spike that you would want to try to wait for?
Well, for me, it was the Eclipse. Once again, I think waiting is the wrong strategy. I think you want to take advantage of the eggs while it has maximum value, so I would like to see them fight now. If they are waiting for something, what is it really?
Oh, he actually
There,
lives. All right.
Hey, what are you looking at? Alchemist BKB is very close. Is that even very good here? He's gonna walk in and cast an acid spray and a concoction and then hit for 100 damage.
Yeah, I thought he'd at this
know.
stage would just go, if he's gonna have that much gold, just get that second axe.
Get an axe for Ember or Solar Crest maybe.
Yeah.
I don't think BKB is gonna drastically change anything for him. Don't really agree with this choice, but we'll see. Like, I'm just trying to figure out if there's a very, very big value play you can make with this BKB. Can you like concoct and just run at the IO perhaps? Or because he can't kill anyone, not even close. So what are you getting the BKB for, except just to make sure you get a concoction? That's kind of all it does.
Yeah, that's a great and valid question, Cinderin. I couldn't answer it for you. Maybe in a post-game interview in the future we can get that settled for you.
It hits. Kuro's broken.
Yeah, Kuro is running into his base, which he's still not technically safe, but the Ice Sharks do create a little bit of a space here. Bushwhack. And it looks like that is a retreating Stampede. Well, they see Miracle in the forest as well. But Mind Control, Double Edge, Thompson, slows him down. And this looks like an inevitable death for Mind Control. It does have that BKB like we talked about. Oh, okay.
BKB?
Yeah. Let's see what it does. It's creating space. You can't argue that, Cinderin. He goes into the trees. There's the shackle. Double edge. Hook stomp.
Could he not have TP'd out after BKB there?
He could have. Yeah. I mean, he was focus fired, right? But I feel like that's not enough damage.
He was a bit in the tree lines for a short while when he BKB'd. I think he had a bit of fog. So.
Yeah, I mean, so this is a 6K net worth lead for OG, and it is an alchemist against an alchemist. It is optimal. but still, it feels like the 6K is really more like a 10, 11K that we're with right now.
It's a major lead. Seb?
Even 6K would be huge. Is Seb? Yep, force that to safety. Miracle, just trying to be as annoying as possible. So this Aegis is now gone. Butterfly, very close to being finished for Sumail, and they can just wait for the second rush. They have so much map control right now. They have their stack camps to get through. They have the entire Nigma jungle to get through. So feels like sky's the limit right now for OG in this game too. So we have another relocate. Into the creeps we go, defending the tier 1 tower. That was a baby relocate if I've ever seen one. But this gives them enough time to get the butterfly as well. Min-max to the highest level, Synderin.
Yeah, they don't feel like they're going to need this relocate in the next minute. They have full map control. Definitely will go to one place they can go through, which is bottom. They're just going to follow Miracle. Damn, he is just a shell of last game here. Level 14. Yeah. Minute 25. Windranger, even after those 2 or 3 deaths like we talked about on Thompson Chain dying, he's still 3 levels ahead here. It's been a rough one.
What do you think the biggest reason for that is? Is it just, I mean, obviously he lost his lane. We can go back to that every time. Is that literally
That's the biggest reason. He lost his lane really badly. He didn't just lose, he got absolutely run over. That's the biggest reason. The second biggest reason is obviously that they didn't really find many kills afterwards as a recovery.
Alright, they're gonna try to go high ground here, which again, no Aegis right now. And damage from GH and Kuroki. Sumail's at half HP, and they're just gonna blow up GH from basically the other side of the base here. Not much really needed to take him out. That's how much of a lead they have right now. 9K, and we just wait for the second rush, which is in another minute and a half, so a longer spawn than normal. It's been like 20-30 seconds since it was available to see, so. But all the outer towers, other than the tier 2 bot, are down. Now there's a DD bot for Thompson to bottle up.
Lose together.
This will align pretty nicely with the upcoming Roshan fight, which I assume, like from Nigma's perspective, they just have to defend. Which again, Eclipse with Ags, that is, I mean, in an enclosed space like Roche Pit, that is pretty powerful.
Yeah, it is theoretically possible. But once again, the options just... It's extremely situational what they have to do, right? They have to find a key stun that they can kill with Eclipse in, and it can't be on the BKB heroes. They can't really lead with anyone because they have no dagger for the catch, so it can only be an Ember Slight Chains, which is not a stun, and they're playing into Relocate. Mech.
Okay, Mind Control just BKB TP this time. He was successful. Yeah. I think that's literally the reason he bought it, as Kuroki is going to get dropped in the river. So he wants to push lanes and then be able to BKB TP out. That's the actual reason he bought it. Your thoughts?
Not a fan.
Your thoughts, sir? I don't know if I've ever seen that before. That's pretty insane.
Yep, there's a reason you haven't.
Don't have any BKB piercing stun unless an MKB is picked up, or a BK or Basher, which no one's really gonna get. It's interesting.
I don't know. I'm still puzzled. Like, I still try to understand what the reason is. Usually Mind Control builds and what he does in the game make a lot of sense to me, but this one is just a bit out of left field. Maybe he feels like he just, with BKB, he can get like 2 concoctions off in a fight, and without it, he can get 0. Maybe it's something like that. Because I really don't think it's for the split pushing argument. I just don't think he should warrant the goal for that. Aegis on Sumail.
Yep, second row. It was scanned out. That's a good question. Io has it. I assume that's who they gave it to. So Feather now stuns. We're back to 1999. That's not technically accurate. When was Io put in? Like 2006 or something like that? We have a relocate. All right, into the creep wave. I keep hyping up this relocate. There's nothing else to hype up. This game is a Gaben level shellacking syndrome. Not even remotely close. Sumail almost has Satanic as well, so gonna be close to unkillable.
All of OG's heroes are sitting under an Observer Ward here, so Nigma did have information about what's happening, but I think even if they didn't have a ward, they kind of knew where they were anyway right now, to be honest. Miracle, not gonna get any courier kills here.
And interestingly enough, Seb is actually building an Aghanim Scepter on Centaur. That's very cool. So this will allow you to run through the shards, which have actually been the most annoying spell for them. In addition to, you know, giving that little damage mitigation and extra second to Stampede as GH getting gone on. Oh, now will just clip him, but they're going to focus on the towers right now. And, oh, Sharpshooter. Oh, into the power shot. Oh,
damn.
GH. That was basically global. Goodness gracious.
I heard OGCSGO could use some firepower, guys.
Jamel pops that Satanic and he's going to get healed to a high degree now.
Oh.
Here comes the Eclipse from afar. It's not even that much, though, as the Stampede is finally used. It's used for initiation, though. Gets forced out to the low ground. Okay, now Mind Control trying to do as much damage as he can. 2-7 has already popped everything, but they can't do anything against the Gyrocopter. He's going for Io. Io finally dies. No tail. To his grave he goes. Only cost him 2 supports, though. 2 for 2. Thompson looking for more. Oh my god, the Shackle shot actually connected. But they don't really have any gap close. Although Thompson uses that blink. Focus fire now onto Miracle. Going in pretty deep. Concoction's going to be dodged thanks to that BKB. And this will create enough space for Sumail to secure this barracks. I would assume. Still has Aegis. Okay, left. Toroki's here. BKB pop. Bushwhack. Getting static link. And Thompson, he's going to have to be careful. He does not have the Aegis or cheese or anything in that regard. Alright, looks like Sumail's just going to have to back out. As Nigma trying their best to hold on. Again with the Satanic. Not healing him that much right now. They're going to be able to take out Sox on the backside as Thompson's getting quite low. Onto the high ground they go. Trophy gets off the plasma field. They finally take out this Aegis. Beautiful Shackle, but a little bit too late. But Seb jumps in with the hook up onto 2, and that'll clean up another couple members as OG looking to take this game number 2. And with that second, yeah, this is going to be a, I would likely think a double rack. So Seb is just going to tank up these towers as the Banjo. I know you're distracted right now, Cinderin. Banjos did go off. Okay. A couple buybacks. They can try to defend here. GA taking a lot of damage from the Rocket Barrage. All down's going to tank out all 3, though. Mind Control the BKB Thompson at the focus fire, and Sumail just focusing on the Miracle as that is a death again. Dieback for him as ILTW is limping back to base. Looks like he'll survive, but this will be many a buildings going down. Always feels bad as a Centaur when you have no building that's able to hit you. When you get to the racks, the naked racks, he's useless. Very sad. Alright, Sumail. Mind Control. Hoof Stomp. Into death. Choo-choo. Banjos. Let's just commentate the voice lines. This is a second racks now, and they could just go for throw. Absolutely. Still die back on both Alp and Ember. But in classic TI9 style, nobody's calling GG yet. Seb jumps in with a hook up. They can connect on Razor, but it's going to be enough to get the kill yet again. No tail on the sideline, though. Has his tether available to try to get onto Sumail. Uses it. The move chasing, and it ends up taking him out. He bursts like a pinata. And it actually is a pinata because he is pretty decently farmed compared to the rest of Nigma. All right, Sharpshooter, ILTW, pops the BKB, getting chased by Sumail, who no longer has the Aegis and no longer has IO by his side, at least not yet. Looks like there was a relocate, actually, so just refilling Seb a little bit here. Sumail's like, hey, I don't have mana, bro. Where's my IO at? Just taking me back to base. Aghanim Scepter. Onto Thompson, so the win run is constantly. They're going for the tier 4, so they could go for Megas, technically. The tier 2 is down, but you know, the game, it feels so over right now. Sumail getting Lucent Beam. He does have to be a little bit careful here. Does not have Aegis. And I think they used the cheese already, if I'm not mistaken. Mind Control, Concoction. Ripe and ready. Oh, he's going to use it onto a Thompson illusion. Very sad to see. Oh, foot stomp. Looks like Mind Control is going to find his way to the grave, along with GH. And Team Nigma are going to finally lose game 2. This game was over. It's been over for about 20 minutes, I have to say.
Yeah, they did a pretty good job hanging in there, but this game felt
Van a terminar matando de esta manera a la luna lunera cascabelera. Y mientras tanto el Ember Spirit logra desenganchar, utiliza este remanente de fuego y escapa de las garras del equipo de Enigma. Buen trabajo y el triplete para Samuelito, marcador de 10-7. Retoma las riendas el equipo de OG.
Call shot, junto con el relocate, muy bien utilizados. Un triple kill para este hard carry para Sumel, y ahora Thompson podría terminar persiguiendo a Miracle.
Cuidado con el misil. Power Shot también. Zep, el Hoof Stomp lo termina esquivando con mucha gracia. Lo hace Miracle. El Star of Fist, pero lo van a perseguir. Ok, hasta aquí nada más. El Bushwhack que no termina conectando Saxa. La fortificación y los TPs defensivos por parte del equipo de Enigma quieren pelearlo. Cuidado con las cadenas abrazadoras. Las Sitting Chains. Zep retrocederá en este momento. Los shards no terminan siendo suficientes. Cuidado con el gyro. Miracle de Shackle. Ok, el Shackle. Hay follow up de Homing Missile. Y Miracle está en la bolsiña. 12-7. Marcador.
Fire team ban.
I don't know. You know, me and Milan, we were talking about it. The coin toss, it's a very historical thing in Dota 2. Maybe it could be a skill-based thing for future tournaments, maybe. I might start that petition right now. Get the 1v1 mids going. Let's not just leave it to a simple... But yeah, it's great. I know drafting's all that fun. And yeah, we'll see when the draft starts, like actually how much of an importance it has. Like, what are they giving up?
Well, we
They give away
already
the
see
Luna.
that Luna and Terrorblade. So we know traditionally the Terrorblade is a counter to the Luna, but we have seen ILTW go for the full magic build to deal with that Terrorblade a little bit better. Milan, it is still Nigma that pick up that Terrorblade, so they leave the Luna in the pool for OG to pick up if they want it.
Oh, the swaps in the bans are like to be expected because of the swap of the pick order. They needed to get rid of the IO and Invoker, but the first pick Terrorblade, I thought they were not gonna pick either and just like punish. Otherwise, if OG would pick Luna 2-3, they would pick Terrorblade. If they would if they would pick Terrorblade, they would just punish with something else. But the first pick Terrorblade, I like the mini meta.
Very
wording.
Yeah.
Like it's like.
But Milan, we just saw Kuroki play the POS 5 Razor. This could be the POS 5. No, I'm not even gonna try.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna exclude it. Like this is Kuroki we're talking about. Kuroki can do anything.
Is this then the Lion Owl? Like, are
No,
you going back for
this
that?
should not be the Alchemist because they played the other day and against Tundra and they got punished with the TB when they picked Alchemist. So they're just gonna go Naga. Naga can be. This is like a bait. It is like a good matchup on TB. For at least they understand it that way. And they might still bait it into like we saw Saksa Smurf or whatever play Naga. You know, it could be easily Naga support.
I'm just happy about that we're in a game 3. You know, both of these teams are teams that we kind of realistically from the region we would expect to be at TI.
Yeah.
So the fact that we're talking about like the single game being like what can remove or what will remove one of these teams from TI contention is it's just weird to think about. But yeah, they do go for this Naga, like Manan said. It has that flexibility of forward carry. It was one of the heroes that Nigma did ban out in the previous game when they had Terrorblade. Of course, Naga is one of the better heroes. Any of the illusions really are pretty good against Terrorblade.
I really hope that the Team Nigma bans the Darkseid because like this is like the Naga response. Like I can see OG just do the Darkseid Naga offlane, counter pick the Team Bear on the safe lane and just roll with it. Like this is the bait you don't want to end up in. Like picking 2 core heroes and enemies picks 2 supports, like it can be very punishing.
Especially with the Timbersaw pick, like having the Naga as your carry doesn't feel as great anymore. And the main Darkseid that Malan was mentioning was when you song, you can of course vacuum during it. So even if it doesn't, you don't have to have that good song. You literally just press it, run in, you find the Terrorblade, and then you always will connect the spells because you can use it during the song itself. So actually, yeah, I like that suggestion a lot.
They're gonna ban the Nyx. They're gonna ban the Puck. The Nyx is good against the Darkseid. I mean, there's only 1 ban left for the team. It's scary for me. Scares me. The Seb Darkseid is like it's
game 3.
That thing scares me, you know.
Yeah. We'll see if that's what they will ban out. Because so far with the Pugna and the Puck ban, it seems like they are trying to make Miracle have a good game this game because they're running out some of the Thompson's heroes.
They did this the previous games as well. Like they pick like not many stuns lineup. So the Puck, especially the top Puck, it's a pain in the ass to deal with. So just getting it out of the way is good.
And the Pugna respect as well, of course. I think the early aggression that Hero can bring to the table, you can 100-0 the TB before he has BKB at most points of the game. So yeah, just fully respecting what Thompson can bring and just preventing or enabling, the Terrorblade to access his own jungle early on.
We're talking a little bit about what we want to see banned out on the side of Team Nigma, that we're a bit worried about the Darkseer making an appearance on the side of OG. But what do we want to see on the side of Team Nigma? Because I'm looking at this Templar Assassin that is still in the pool for Miracle, and we have seen him crush with that, even in matchups that weren't necessarily favorable for a TA team.
I'm just trying to think of. Yeah, TA is okay. I think DK might be able to respect that, but TA and TB on the same team. I won't lie, Shiva, my whole brain right now is fixated on what the GH era is. I'm trying to work
Okay.
out like what four they're gonna bring, because it's like when you open up with TB and Timber and like you see these brands from OG, like I'm trying to picture like what's the GH era right now that if it is gonna be this like support Naga or whatever, this is Song Factor. You need a hero that can start the fight and 100-0. Like if you jump this Naga, you have to kill her pre-song. And like when you're already banging out these like kind of bigger fours that have that stun potential, like what's left? Like Tusk, you don't want to go Phoenix or anything into a Naga anymore because of the song. Like Willow's not that great, so I'm currently racking my brain on how Nigma's going to actually be able to kill a hero right now.
I'm just also watching this ban from
Yeah.
deciding, but I think they have first pick from Team Nigma. They will just be reactionary. I can see the GH maybe play the Shadow Shaman. It's kind of decent against Naga, and it's like one of his signatures. He spawns it recently.
True.
And like it's an okay laner. They need stuns. They have two heroes without any stuns. So they want to pick it up. Or they ban the Enigma. Enigma Naga is also like historically very hard to deal with. Enigma is also Seb's famous hero. This way or another. Sometimes.
One of the purple heroes is getting through it, right? It's the Dark Hero, the Nigma. Okay, they got one of them, but will they pick it? You know.
5 seconds.
This ban is gonna be telling. This ban on OG is gonna tell their idea what they wanna do.
Is it going to be another position 4? Because like they've already shown a lot of respect to GH, and I think that's the main thing here. When you pick a Timbersaw in first phase, the 4 role becomes so nice. Maybe Milan can agree here, because it's like you can pick the perfect hero to roam or do anything because you are kind of freed up in the game. So you want to have some type of like decent matchup to be able to kill mid or to bully that 5, and that's why I think OG is just using all the bans on this 4 position.
And if you're expecting a Darkseer on the side of OG, should they use this ban to protect the Darkseer maybe a little bit more? We often see Oracles against Darkseers, get rid of the Iron Shells in the lane, make him have a lot slower game.
Oracle is cool, but Darkseer specialists, like 3, some of them say they can play against it. It's not like the end of the world. I think OG is gonna pick up either the carry or the offlane now, because they see this too much. I think they want to keep the Naga flex going.
10 seconds
probably.
remaining.
And then they banned the Tiny as well, because of course Miracle played that before, and it still can be that 4 roll. But when Miracle played it the other day, devastating. They go for a Sand King.
It's a quite a similar line of toe, like a heavy magic damage, good in lane versus EB.
Is this where OG gets like super creative? You know, the wombo combo. Like Darks is still on the table right now, in my opinion. You know, like we're big fans of it, but like imagine like the song into Darkseer, SK, Lion, some like casual SK mid or something. Even not
was it SK mid for Thompson or for Miracle when we saw it for the first time around?
It was Miracle,
right?
In the DPC, Miracle was playing it.
But it could just be Naga
quite
carry, right?
Sure.
Yeah, and it just maybe they worried a bit about it. Oracle range coming out.
That's true. They could just be happy with just like SK Naga as a lane itself.
They should probably pick a GH here. I'm just thinking that what to think besides the Shadow Shaman.
For the bench. Yeah, something they've always paired with the Terrorblade. They mentioned it during Game 1. Just the aura helps with the TB.
Ranger.
And they go for Drow, Of course, Drow is very good at TB because your aura just cuts through the armor of TB. And I think if you have Sand King and Naga, you're always going to be able to kind of protect her in a way through song or just through just having bodies in front of her. Gives you a good lane against Timbersaw as well to some degree.
They do this double counters. The Sand King and Drow are like the heroes to go versus the TB, but the bottom lane it can go rough. But this is of course they're again flexing. You know
everything's
the
open.
Thompson Drow, the Sumail Drow, the Thompson Sand King, Saxo Sand King, and they pick up the Mars. They are also flexing. This can be a Timber mid. You know,
this is everything.
The Miracle is famous for his, not famous, but he can play a very good.
Could also just be a 5 Mars. You want to spear the Sand King out of his sandstorm? Help the terrorist.
We
Milan's
saw the
face, he was
Razor,
like-
too
Never
cute.
know. You
I
never
think
know.
they're gonna stay away from too cute.
Yeah, that's true. Both of these teams are really just kind of showing everything, but like keeping everything so open. Like, I don't know, Nog could be 4, Drag could be mid. Realistically, what OG needs is probably someone who can actually walk into the fight. Everyone right now wants to kind of stand at the back and kind of enable each other. Like, yeah, don't worry, I'll keep you alive. But there's not that one guy who kind of absorbs the damage. Like Nigma, they have a Mars, they have a Timbersaw. They have so many ways to walk up high grounds and start a fight. I think maybe where OG could lack some of
They need someone to bait for the second Sand King spot. Like, Sand King, we mostly so boxy do it. Like the enemy chase and the boxy gets like a 4-man extra. Power strike just kills everyone. Like this is where Sand King excels. They banned the Zeus and Monkey. Zeus is like one of the best heroes against. And the Thompson, Zeus, Monkey maybe for like Mars or Timber wants to go mid. I would say Timber. That's like very good match for Monkey. It's a Thompson Monkey game. We talked about it. You don't want to forget about it.
game theory as well. Complete comfort. You go for a casual Monkey. Yeah. Oof. I respect that. And it simplifies. Like Nigma lost that second game because like their key hero in the game was completely shut down. Just maybe for an outplay, it wasn't like a matchup. And they actually go for the Phoenix. I wasn't expecting Phoenix just because of like Naga and the value of Song here, but they go for it anyway. They value just being able to survive in all their like it literally is a kind of a copy of game 1, right?
The song doesn't matter. Like if you're inside of the arena,
That's true. That's true.
It's just gonna delay you. It's like Mars Phoenix is one of the strong get. They go for the Razor.
All right, who's picking what? That's the key thing.
No, not the Razor 5 guys. Don't do it.
It's the Miracle Timber.
It's a 5 Naga.
Yeah, yeah.
5
it is the
Naga,
support.
Saxa Lion.
Okay. Sure. I think the main thing is like in Dota, like any melee 5 support can enable a ranged carry because you're literally a body. Doesn't matter what you play, right? You exist.
We have in the previous 2 games, there's a little bit of a theme with the mid lane going, either Thompson's or Miracle Wave, depending on who won the game. Razor versus Timbersaw, Milan. Who takes it?
I think Razor has a bit of an edge early levels, but I would say it's a bad matchup for Razor. And I think the team Nigma got this one. I think they got the better core matchups. The way the OG is trying to counter it, I think they're not gonna do it. Like they have 2 range heroes versus the Mars core, and Mars is gonna have a decent lane, and they're gonna be in trouble this game. The Miracle is gonna pop off.
Quick prediction, T?
Fun game. Emulating game 1. OG needs to kind of learn a bit more from that game because Nigma looks scary for sure.
Okay, well, it looks scary. Looks like if we're going to have a remake of game 1, that means 30 kills in 20 minutes. I'm down for that. Our commentary team is ready for that as well. Let's head over to Suns Fantasy.
Hello, Cinder.
Hello?
How are you doing today?
I'm good. Man, what's going on today with the Dota? The drafting
Good question.
It's absolutely crazy today on both teams. So we just went from a 5 Razor to a 5 Naga.
Yeah.
I think neither of those have been played in the entirety of this qualifier, maybe any of the regions. I could be wrong. There might have been like a Razor game, and I haven't watched every game, but very, very rare stuff coming out, and this is obviously 2 teams that have incredible experience with the game in general and against each other, so they try to be creative and come up with something different. I did not think I was going to see a Drow Naga lane today when I woke up, but that could be what I get in the end here. Very interesting stuff from
We're getting
OG.
closer to TI. That means Naga will be a hero, and it's always been a flex of sorts. You're right, it hasn't been a while since it's been support, but it's not as rare as the position 5 Razor, though. I will say that emphatically. But yeah, you're right. It's the position 5 Naga, we got the position 1 Drow, and mid Razor going to be going against a mid Timbersaw. So what is that matchup like?
So basically, when OG had the last pick, what they identify is that Nigma have 3 melee cores, and that's why Nigma banned Monkey King, right? Because that's the Thompson go-to in these situations.
Right.
So then you think, okay, what are the next heroes that are amazing against melee cores? And that's Razor, right? He's the first one that comes to mind. So they pick that. I think Timbersaw is one of the melee heroes that does the best against Razor, simply because when you get levels in reactive armor, you're tanky enough to not get killed. You have a natural way of getting away with the Timber Chain, and you have spell damage, which, you know, that's one of the reasons that Razor loves laning against a hero like TA, is that she can only CS with physical. But something like Timbersaw, you can usually get at least a couple of CS per wave with just spell damage if you get drained. Thompson will obviously drain him no matter what to build an advantage, but I reckon Miracle will do better in this lane than in last game. I don't think he's more favored than last game, but it's harder to screw up, I think.
Not expecting either.
Can't believe I'm saying that about Miracle, right? But that last game was just not good. Like, sometimes it happens, even to the best.
It's what we call an anomaly, Cinderman.
Yeah.
But we're seeing Terrorblade yet again. This is a hero that likely will get a few touches in the upcoming patch, whenever that is. But from Nigma's side, aside from the TB, they have the old tried and true Mars ult into Phoenix Egg combo, which I feel like was super popular pre-major and then into the major a bit as well. And it's, I don't know if it's dropped off or maybe like Wyvern has just taken over everything. Combo's still good, right?
Yeah, it is. I will say, oh, hang on, GH.
He's getting quite low. Sumail with the right click. Not even needed. Yep. He's getting with the creeps.
Right, so, and we obviously did not get the Naga draw lane, which I think would have probably been expectable, because then you have, you know, melee range in both lanes instead of double range and double melee. But I think the call here from OG is, if we put Naga draw bottom, we're too exploitable. So we're gonna make our top lane weaker in order to make sure that our drow has a good time. And I actually like this idea. I think this was a good choice. Obviously, to get the first blood there too. But yeah, about the Mars Phoenix, I think Naga is a really good counter, actually, that we're going to see in play here. When that Arena and Supernova get popped, you can Song of the Siren for disengage, you can try to kill the egg. And, you know, it's a traditional solution to these AoE ultis to have a support Naga. I see Seb getting killed here, though. Not having the best time on the Sand King.
Yeah, and since we haven't really seen support for Naga in quite a while, it's you know, you talk about it being a good counter with the song and all, but keep, you know, remember, since it is a support, they're not going to be getting a ton of levels on No Tail. And Song of the Siren radius 1,000 at level 1. It ramps up per level. So that's something that you don't really notice in the core rolls because it is so fast, but something to watch for, obviously.
Very true.
But in the mid lane, Thompson 15-5 versus Miracles 14-1. So very. This is what we want to see. We don't want to see one person dumpster another. We want to see it very even. We want to see 60 minutes tier 5 items, Cinderin.
Yes, we do.
We can talk about that in 10 minutes if you'd like. Just remind me, set a timer.
Sure.
As ILTW is going to pop in meta in the top lane. Pressuring Seb just a little bit out here, but are you expecting any lane to be kill heavy this time around?
I think the most likely one is bottom, right? It's the double range Drow Lion against Phoenix Mars, who progress a lot by hitting level 3. Both lanes really do. Lion getting it before GH down here on the Phoenix. I can just see they keep laying into mind control. He's already forced to buy a salve, and now he's sending out a bracer for a little bit of sustain at least. But yeah, that should be the most likely killing. Like, Thompson is going to keep doing this in mid, and Miracle will be like, wow, this is really annoying. And I'm going to wait it out and try to get CS with Whirling Death. I'm actually surprised he's attacking the creeps. He currently has -5 damage, so it's not even doing anything.
I feel like if you have minus damage, you should heal when you attack. That's my change log for next
That makes a lot of no sense.
I mean, there's a lot of things that don't make sense in Dota, Cinder, and you don't ask questions.
That's true.
If I Sprog did it, you'd be like, oh, okay, sure. It's because I suggested you hate it.
Yeah, that's generally how it goes when a smart person suggests something, and when a not so smart person suggests something. Usually they think the smart person has a better idea.
I really set you up for that one. I apologize for giving you such an easy one. But yeah, Drow Ranger, Cinder, and I'm very excited to see some male Drow. How does that hero fare in this matchup against TB? Like,
one of the better carries, for sure, because of marksmanship. Terrorblade will always play from range, so marksmanship will be active and it can pierce him. So it is just traditionally one of the best carries at dealing with it. the concern that I have for Sumail in this game actually is not coming from a core perspective. It's the Venge. I think that is a really good hero against Drow. Swapping Drow out of position feels so bad. Like, this hero is extremely dependent on standing in the backlines, and they have a hero that can handle it. Kuro probably needs level 2 ult, so it's gonna take some time. But any good swap on Drow can determine a team fight, or at the very least force out like Song of the Siren, for example. So
yeah, and that's really cool down. I mean, you could have Burrow Strike initiation, I guess. Oh, nice impale in the bot lane. Sumail's gonna turn around with this multi-shot. Very nicely played. Man, that was on point. Now Mind Control just gonna get harassed to the outskirts of the lane here. ILTW though gets Seb's courier. For a second I thought that was Seb himself, but he is a Scorpion and not that cute little courier.
Dude, imagine if the couriers were as big as heroes. That would be menacing.
That it depends on what I mean, it could be very cuddly. If it was a huge cat, it's a different story. I'd love that. Add that to the changelog, Cinder. I know you have a list for Ice Frog in the upcoming patch. He's listening to you every time.
Yes, yes. Bigger couriers, got it. Nerf Fountain, okay.
No.
Make courier, make Fountain a cat, yes.
But we should obviously talk about the implications of this match. As Kuro getting harassed here by No-Tail. The magic missile off, but the winner of this is Thompson. Okay, gets the static link briefly onto GH, but I think he'll be no worse for wear. And Kuro, with the help of ILTW, going to try to turn this onto No-Tail. Looks like that'll be an easy kill, blocking him with Kuro's body there. The winner of this goes to face Tundra of all teams. Not that that is a shock, I guess, but I figured one of these two teams, I don't know if I speak for you as well, either Nigma or OG, I figured they'd be in the upper bracket, but it is Tundra.
Yep.
And whoever loses will not be going to TI, Cinder. Do you have, do you think Tundra have the advantage versus both teams?
I think it's probably going to be close. Tundra definitely has looked better, but I think perhaps with the experience of playing against them and their strategies, I think whoever faces them will look better than they did earlier. But yeah, Tundra has been looking really good, so probably still favoring them going in, but I would not be shocked to see them getting truly tested and even losing in the finals eventually. But let's just quickly go over how historical this game is going to be no matter who wins, right? So one of two things will happen. Either Kuro will miss TI as a player for the first time ever. That's 10 years. Speaking of Kuro, as he is now getting killed by his position 5 from last game, the Razor. Either Kuro will miss his first TI ever as a player, or OG will not go for the first time since they were OG and they won TI twice in a row. So, you know, it's pretty crazy. The stakes in this are probably, from like a Dota history standpoint, this might be the single craziest lower bracket game we've ever had in a qualifier.
I would I definitely agree. Now keep in mind that other teams that will miss TI. Other teams that have won TI, I know it's not twice, but have, in some cases have not made it to TI. I think Wings is one of them. I think there's another one on top of that. I can't think of the top of that. So it has happened.
The following year?
Yeah, the following year.
Sumail?
Miracle. Oh, he's gonna get Hex mid Timber Chain. There's a lot of damage to withstand. Thompson's ult is popped right now. Timber Chain on the other side now, but he's completely surrounded with the ensnare and the impale. Nicely done from OG. That definitely helps Thompson out quite a bit. You can look at his net worth right now.
Toxic.
You and these voice lines, Cinder. Get with it. This is lower bracket, okay? Take it seriously.
I know. Well, I mean, I gotta highlight it, right? Because the teams have definitely muted each other. So, you know, they're not hearing it.
That's probably
There's
true.
Like literally no way.
That's probably
I think playing against OG and not muting their players is like, it's definitely negative win rate right there. Don't do that. Yeah, so OG, or Nigma rather, tried to make a move bottom onto Sumail, but Mind Control missed the God Rebuke in the start, and they actually needed that bit of damage to kill Sumail when he TP'd out, so pretty big. OG now with a relatively commanding lead, especially
Miracle. This is going to be a full duration static link. They won't be able to kill him, but this is going to be a lot of CS for Thompson. He's actually rushing a BKB first item. What are your thoughts on that?
I like it.
Pretty cool.
I like it a lot for their lineup. They want a frontliner to come out of mid and just run at people so they can hit their stuns. Thompson can't die in this game when he's BKB to anything else than the Terrorblade. Well, he's not BKB currently, and he's diving the tower.
Yeah,
so that was,
everybody has come to play, and Thompson, literally all 5 members of Team Nigma
Thought he was playing Ember Spirit, but didn't have a Remnant, so that's that was weird.
I mean, to be fair, he does play heroes that have a lot of mobility, Cinder, so Razor not exactly the first hero I think of.
I think another thing, this is probably Thompson's highest CS all year at 10 minutes, so he needs to get down to his normal level. CS per minute was too high.
Here, but Mind Control comes out of nowhere with that Mars Arena. Sumail stuck inside the Rebuke will keep him safe, but there you see the song. No tell in the area. Oh, okay, swap, but the guts will miss. Looks like Kuroki's going to get fingered either way, though. No tell's going to be the trade at the very least. Step jumps in. This is a huge team fight at the beginning of the game. The T1 tower is being focused by ILTW. He will get it successfully. Objective-based gamer over here, but it's going to cost them Mind Control at the very least. So a 2-for-1. Very strange fight. I didn't even bother crossing that line there. If they get Miracle, this will be huge. Timber Chains, Seb pursuing. Soxa in the area, but Thompson has another Plasma Field in 2 seconds. Needs to stay on the outskirts, and the Burrow Strike cancels the TP. 3 kills. No one already has revived. Oh, gee, what a defense. Of course,
Sumail solo kills GH too. Oh,
basically a team wipe, not including ILTW, but the tier 1 was lost.
I honestly think it was a really good call from ILTW to not dive in there and try to fight. I think that was just reckless, and it's showing maybe a little bit of I wouldn't say inexperience on Nigma's part. It's just, probably been a really long time since they played against Naga, right? Like, it's just not maybe something you think about intuitively in the correct manner. Kuro's mega dead here, by the way. He doesn't know Tango, so
GH is here though. Gets the Sunray off.
But they went too far there, Nigma, in the mid lane. That's just too much defense from OG out of that Song of the Siren, and they turn it around and get some easy kills. Kuro ends up in a really awkward position, swaps the Drow, but doesn't really set anything up with it.
Hex on the mid dive, but they're not going to follow it up with anything. It sucks.
These leads for OG are insane, actually. Sand King is 2,500 gold ahead of the Mars, and now Timber is also 1,500 behind the Razor. The only player that's really keeping up with the opposition is the Terrorblade of ILTW. And that makes sense, because he has 100 CS, 2 kills, 2 assists, and hasn't died. He's just farming and prioritizing that. They're losing the fights badly, and now they might find the grand prize in Mail.
Sender in. Mail into Burrow Strike. Do they have to figure a swap save from Kuro? But the multi-shot from afar, it's not quite enough to take out ILTW. He does have Thunder as well. If he wants to use it on a teammate, as the egg is being focused, so down goes GH. To Mail, forcing Miracle out yet again, and they're going to try to go for this tier 1 tower. Man, that is a lot of damage to Kuro. Thompson not able to clean it up with the Plasma Field, but
only they had Mind
just
Control
limping
there,
back.
that would have been amazing for Nigma, but obviously OG no. Mind Control is showing in the top lane. He had TP on cooldown, he had no mana, so they are very ready to go here. Sumail with that double damage will take the tower. At the rate this game is going, Nigma are going to need a good team fight sometime soon, because these heroes are ramping up way too fast for the Terrorblade to handle this alone. Oh no. He's caught. There's Finger.
Yeah. So that's a death that just, it can't happen. This is now a 5k net worth lead for OG at 13 minutes. Are you freaking, this is crazy. There's not an alchemist in the game. There's no weird like inflation with the gold. They're just getting crushed.
Yeah, I would definitely not have expected this game to be so one-sided for either team at this point in time. But OG are just totally outside.
Have to be careful here. This would be a really big kill for Nigma. Of course, he doesn't have his BKB. It's still a couple hundred away. Gets swapped back into the fray. He's going to get the kill, but it's going to be a trade that, I mean, again, Thompson being just over-aggressive, it feels like. And yeah, that, I mean, he loses a couple hundred gold here, so he's going to be 300 now behind the 8 ball in terms of getting that BKB, but feels a little bit less disciplined than we're used to seeing, but either way, still have a massive lead for OG. Nice deny in the bot lane from GH. So from Nigma's side, do they need to start getting aggressive? Is there a power spike incoming? I mean, Blink Dagger is going to be pretty important for Mind Control, but still basically 1,000 away from finishing that.
Yeah, I do think that's still the timing that you're aiming for, though. You need this big team fight set up so that Phoenix can have a major impact, and you can set up your Terrorblade as well. What OG are probably going to do is just play fast and keep looking for skirmishes, right? Like, they're rolling, and it's clear that Nigma are not interested in fighting currently. They're having a way more defensive posture. Their heroes aren't fully ready and online yet. So knowing OG, they get really hungry when they sense that the game is going like that, and they will look for more moves. This top tier 1 tower is definitely the next objective.
Sumail's there to take it as mind control, yeah, in the area, but not looking to set anything up. Just wants to make sure that he survives. Maybe push a little wave here, make sure they can't go any further, but still 700 away from finishing Blink Dagger for himself. Meanwhile, Seb is sitting on 1,700 current gold while already having Blink Dagger, and now he's taking some stacks. Looks like Yules is on the menu for him. Speaking of being hungry. Stops him. So he does have his BKB now. He actually cancels his TP. They want to go on top of Miracle here. Soxa has the Earth Spike. Seb, Burrow Strike to follow. No, he's going to get stunned in the meantime. Good double. 3 heroes stuck there. Seb on the outskirts gets popped. Thompson trying to go for this egg. Looks like he'll get it at the very least, but it's inside the Mars arena now. But the BKB allows him to go back inside. He's getting right this from far by ILTW. OG now on the run. Mind control here, unable to hit. But Thompson has to change directions thanks to Miracle jumping in. Rebuke. One more right click should do it. A huge kill for Nigma. And OG now giving up some valuable kills there on the sideline. Multi-shot is enough to take out Kuroki. And now Miracle, wrong place, wrong time. Finger of death from Soxa. And that is enough as Sumail is cleaning up. Naga. Okay, the song was there, but yeah, he got out of range of mind control.
Tried to reach the Terrorblade, so then the Mars got out.
Yeah, we talked about that range. Still level 1.
Absolutely noticeable there. Only the 1k range on level 1. Yeah, that, like you said, that looked pretty good for Nigma, but then Miracle overdone it. It has been happening a couple of times in today's games. In the first game on Invoker, even though he had an outstanding performance with insane spellcasting, there were these couple of moments that get really high intensity and very stressful for them, and I can't help but feel like you're right about what you said earlier, that it's just playing against OG, right? Like the tempo and the intensity that the games have, just it's like forced errors, you know? Mm-hmm. It's really what it feels like. And Sumail came in with a nice flank too.
And Yules is now online for Seb. He is working on the Shivas next. I mean, even Soxa almost has his Blink Dagger, so 4k net worth lead. So they're kind of stabilized a bit here from Nigma's side, I want to say. Because that was snowballing out of control. It was, what, 6k? And it went down to 2k or 3k. So they're at least not getting snowballed on right now. But then again, Soxa is in the area. Try to set something up here. Finger of Death is down, though, for quite a while. And from ILTW's perspective, has the Dragonlance Yasha. I think the Manta's on the way. Yeah, Recipe's on the courier, so we'll have the Manta style. And then the all-important Blink Dagger for Mind Control is up. So, is this the time? Do you want to maybe wait for OG? I mean, it's easier said than done. Try to go for Roche and then contest it since you have such a good team against it. Which will be now.
You do realize they're seeking in and trying to smoke.
They have Arena Egg.
No, they're going to be in time. No, they're baiting Miracle. They don't realize this is happening at all, actually. Yeah. Unless they're too late.
Too late. Miracle, somewhat close, but not close enough it seems. That is the Aegis for Sumail. Miracle. He only has half mana here. Has a Soul Ring available, but yeah, you're right. That looked like a clear bait that was not bitten by OG. I feel like they would have taken it if Roche was not available. That is,
it like could have worked, maybe, yeah. That's also one of the nice things about Naga Siren, right? Is your ability to go to Roche. Like, a lot of the times in these games, a lot gets decided there. Naga is one of the best supports in the Roche pit at all, because you can start the Roche with Drow there, and you have the big feeling of safety that if you do get jumped, you have a reset button to get out, and reposition, and maybe turn around the fight and win. I think there's a really big part of the decision there from OG to go for Roche is that they have Naga. Their lineup isn't inherently very good at killing Roshan, but that safety factor really makes a big difference. Alright, Notel has Meteor Hammer.
Oh boy!
Stuff. Song and a Hammer. A classic. A timeless classic.
Yeah, that's not the words I would use for that, but the meme hammer build for sure.
Radiant's top tower.
I mean, it's one of those things where you do have to time it if you want to actually like make sure they can't do anything about it, right? Song into actual meteor hammer.
Dire's bottom tower.
There's like a special
I think you
trick
can
to
always
it.
BKB, right?
Yeah,
There was a
BKB,
time when you
but-
couldn't BKB it because it was frame perfect out of song if you pressed it in a specific way. I believe now that it's impossible, so you can always get BKB off.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Any mobility spells will.
It's been so long since I've seen a Naga with Meteor Hammer.
It's been a hot minute for sure. As Sumail gonna focus on the tier 2 bot. He outranges it right now, so good to go. As ooh, all right, GH spots out Soxa. He's gonna get out the Earthquake, but actually the swap is there. It's gonna be an easy call on Soxa, but he gets the Finger of Death before his untimely death. Thompson looking for the egg instead. He'll get it. Mind control a little bit later. Still the World Strike on Seth. Beautifully done. His mind control is getting decimated within the arena itself. Miracle ends up cleaning 7 turn though, so it's a 2 for 2. And after all that, Kuroki somehow lived, despite being the one that was originally gone on. Still, Aegis online for Sumail, so...
If MC connects a little bit earlier there in the arena, maybe they save the egg and that's big, but good play from OG to immediately identify that that was a killable supernova. That could have got really scary. It's always, when you commit to try to kill the egg there, if it gets saved, it's way worse than if you had never tried, because you kind of just have killed your own team, but they do pull it off and get out, so relatively even trade across the board. And I do think Nigma should be happy with that. Like, the game has been looking really grim for them for quite a while, but they're slowly but steadily getting there over time. Like, Miracle's starting to get an item now, close to that halberd. Terrorblade Scotty is not too far away. GH got his Yules because they delayed. So some things are coming up, but I think OG should still feel very comfortable if they do get to fight right now, especially with no Supernova and Arena. It would be a great timing. But guess what? Arena, it's ready again because it's been 4 seconds. But the Supernova isn't ready.
Indeed. But Song is up now. No Tail now level 12, so he'll get that extra range. And okay, average Roche taken at 25 minutes. OG it. Interesting. Interesting statistic there. I like these kind of stats that are revolved around Roshan. As
You love everything about Roshan.
Roshan, shards, Ags. I love it. Roshan needs a sister, I think. Or a wife.
Roshana.
Or if you're from the south, both. Anyway, Sumail has the Aegis, and he's going for this tier 2 in the mid lane. Aegis still in tow. He's going for the BKB now. And obviously has a Hurricane Pike Manta. He is quite strong. But then again, if you look at ILTW, he is right on par, Synderen. Has a Hurricane Pike Manta, and instead of the... for Scotty next, which... This is the more typical Terrorblade build.
It is. I think this is the tried and true default build that you deviate from when you have a good reason to, and I think in this game he doesn't. Like, Lance Manta Scotty looks solid, and then it's telling what he goes next. Sometimes, oh, hang on.
Into the Meteor Hammer. Yeah, maybe they just force them out here. No Tail again still has a song. Gust keeping them at bay. Thompson now has the BKB. Working on the assault carriers. They're focusing on ILTW. He's gonna get swapped to safety though. GH still has the egg. They're gonna blow up Kuro at the very least. Thompson's BKB is now out. Plasma kill. Oh, the spear. The egg on the high ground as well. But there's the song. Thompson is gonna be saved. The egg does hit No Tail though. Song is still going because she has a very loud voice. Burrow strike. Mind control getting focused now. Wrong place, wrong time for him. Finger of Death bursts him down. So a 2 for nothing is OG. We saw Nigma, you talked about it, they were clawing their way back in, but now it's back to a 5k net worth lead for OG. Good save from Nota.
Yeah, the Naga effect is actually so noticeable. You can tell Nigma don't want to combine all their spells together because they're just going to get songed and be out of steam. Mind Control held the arena the whole time. He never arena'd the Razor that he pinned to the base wall. Maybe he thought they could kill him without it. And honestly, he would have got away. He could have just TP'd after the song instead of standing or running away. So it wouldn't even have worked for the arena. And definitely an issue for Nigma that they can't reliably get on the Naga in any possible way. Like, none of their lineup will get there and get that kill. The only hero that's mobile is Timber, and you know, Naga will just run away. It's too tanky.
I'm just really impressed the fact that ILTW is able to keep the farm up here, despite his team kind of being. Look at the map control right now for OG. And then again, we've seen a lot of Terrorblade just farm out of control. This hero just feels like it's on another level. With these illusions going to town. And he's getting pretty close to that Scotty. Not too far away, just like 300-400 gold. Mind control working on the BKB for himself as well. So, does OG just wait for Roche number 2? Is that the play?
I definitely think they could. They have good enough map control and good enough scaling that I don't think they worry too much about. See, compared to game number 1, that's a big difference, right? Because in game 1, when they had their Chen strategy, it felt like, okay, eventually when Nigma gets big enough, this is going to get hard. In this game, I think OG can win this even after 60 minutes. Like, their lineup has Drow and Razor in late game, can be super strong with their talents and the right itemization. You've got Sanking, who's an excellent late game offlaner because of the low cooldown on the stun, and when BKBs get low, you get multiple of them off in a fight if you play it well. Lion may be one of the best scaling supports in the game. So definitely not lacking on the options here to just take it easy if they want to.
And I think this is a storyline that we talk about with other teams that I don't think it really comes into play here, where nerves can get the, like Tundra, this would be a great example for them. A lot of players have not gotten the, this is to go to TI, but both of these teams so experienced. That is not a thing at all. Is top smoke here from Team Nigma. Oh, Broken is looking for an opening, he's just gonna get blown up instead.
This hammer though,
As the egg comes out, you see the shard is already picked up by him, and ILTW with the meta focusing on top, he's gonna be able to get it as the egg goes off as well. Nice impale from Soxa, but a big epicenter onto 2. Down goes ILTW, a huge initiation from Seb. And that's going to cost them 3 and make it 4 with Kuroki dropping to the deck. And this is likely to be a full team wipe if they're able to get Miracle here. Seb is actually going to stay alive throughout all of this. What a crazy counter initiation, turning into an ultra kill for Sumail. My God.
It was bizarre. Like, what an insane song. They were so stacked up in their own arena. He starts channeling the Meteor Hammer, and nothing happens. Like, it just hits the ground. They're all still asleep for another 4 seconds. There was no combo at all. But it didn't matter. It set up Seb for ultimate success to get that song out, and they just run away with it. Sumail, 11-0, gets an ultra kill in that fight, and he's knocking on high ground. Getting tier 3, they're going to respect the respawns here and back up, but 12,000 gold, such a huge moment for OG.
That one fight doubled their lead in terms of net worth. And now they're going to get even more out of it because they're farming the jungle. And like you said, Roche is going to be the next thing on the menu. So 17 seconds to go. There's a DD top. They see this along with Roche in a few seconds. This will be a hard thing to contest for Team Nigma. And we're talking about ILTW, no meta for 55 seconds. So there is plenty of time to get all of this.
Yep.
See if they scout it out. So Roche is up. This is the Shard Roche. DD. It's
Dare
bottled.
I say it, between the wacky position 5s of Naga and Razor, one has looked a little bit better than the other in this series.
You make it sound like I know that Naga hasn't been picked as support lately, but historically she's been.
Oh no, I'm not saying it's bad at all. It's just different, right? But you can really see why OG put it support this game and what it accomplished.
They get the Ace, they get the cheese, they get the shard. Okay, finger of death, but there's the swap on the ILTW into the song. Seb. All right, we're gonna see the Meteor Hammer with the epicenter to follow. They just want to focus on G8. He's getting really low, and a multi-shot finishes him off after the ulti. Buyback into the game, though, still has his egg. Mind control, just on the wrong place of the terrain here. And he's gonna have to buy back as well. But these Team Nigma members are dropping like flies, Cinderin. And the ensnare from 2, oh my God, the ensnare to follow. They have to get ILTW out of here if they're able to get the TI. This is the big moment right now, but the egg goes down. ILTW has his thunder available. He's so freaking low. Pops in, but there's the burrow strike from Seb. That is a dieback. Oh my goodness, Miracle now. This was it, Cinderin. It looks like OG are going to the grand finals, and Team Nigma, the last finalist at TI9, will not be going to TI at all. Unreal.
It's so crazy. It's like no matter what the outcome of this series is, it's just insane, right? Like we knew that when the qualifier started that this was going to happen, and it still feels so. It still feels so crazy when it does. Like we can't be surprised, right? One of these we're not going, but still, it feels like it really catches you off guard somehow. But man, what a game from OG. They played super well this game. So good coordination. I've been talking a lot about the Naga pick and what it did for